We're now joined by number 8 ranked UFC light heavyweight Nikita Krylov, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press.
Hello, Nikita. How are you?
Hello, good, thank you.
Nikita, it's been close to a year since your last fight. Can you describe the emotions of what it's like to be back at Fight Week?
Никита, привет, это тут Антон, я тебе буду помогать. Примерно год прошел с твоего прошлого боя. Поделись эмоциями, насколько ты рад вернуться в октагон.
I'm happy come back. Мне нравится то, что я делаю, я люблю этим заниматься. Поэтому, конечно, я счастлив, что бой уже близко.
I like what I did for a living, so I'm pretty happy to be back. So I'm excited going to this fight.
There's a lot coming up in the light heavyweight division. Who do you think wins between Adesanya and Blachowicz?
Ну, сейчас большой бой нас ожидает на следующей неделе в полутяжелом весе. Твой прогноз, как ты думаешь, кто выиграет в титульном бою?
Ну, конечно, я за полутяжа. И я думаю, что у Блаховича есть все для того, чтобы выиграть.
Of course, I'm supporting a light heavyweight guy, and I think that Blachowicz has everything in his arsenal to get the W.
How do you feel you match up stylistically with Magomed Ankalaev as an opponent?
Как ты считаешь, ну вот ваши стили с Магомедом соотносятся стилистически?
Я считаю, они соотносятся настолько, чтобы произвести отличное впечатление на зрителя и показать красивый зрелищный бой.
I think that they mentioned pretty well for a good, exciting fight, and I'm pretty sure that it will be pretty interesting bout for all the fans.
My final question, with the victory, is there anyone you have an eye on for your next opponent?
Ну и последний вопрос, есть ли кто-то у тебя на примете в случае победы?
Об этом мы узнаем после боя.
I will tell everything after the fight.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Omer Murtavici with S Sport.
Hello, Nikita. How are you?
Hello, good, thank you.
Thank you, Nikita. Nikita, Johnny Walker was a rising star and you beat him. Can we watch the same thing on Saturday? What do you think?
В прошлом бою ты побил Джонни Уокера, и он был тоже такой восходящей звездой, и Магомед тоже считается восходящей звездой. Можем ли мы ожидать повторения подобного сценария в эти выходные?
Вы можете ожидать все, что угодно, а я сделаю все, что смогу.
You can expect anything you want, but I will do my best and to finish the fight.
Okay. How does it feel to come from Ukraine and fight in America? I'm from Turkey, and in my country, a lot of young guys try the same thing. What advice could you give them as a UFC star?
Можешь какой-то совет дать молодым бойцам, потому что, ну, у тебя такая история, да, ты из Украины, и в итоге ты как бы шел шаг за шагом, попал в большую лигу, может быть, у тебя есть какой-то совет молодым, соответственно, бойцам, как вот достичь таких высот?
Трудитесь, не жалейте своих сил, верьте в свою мечту, и все обязательно сбудется.
You just need to work hard, don't be easy on yourself, and believe in your dreams, and everything can, every dream can come true.
Okay, thank you, Nikita. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Martina Saluch with InTheCage.pl.
Hello, Nikita. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Just 3 questions from me. First of all, I would like to know why did you have such a long break with Octagon?
Первый вопрос, почему такой долгий был перерыв у тебя между выступлениями?
Ну, я пытался подраться в октябре. К сожалению, мой оппонент в тот момент травмировался. поэтому пришлось... Должной замены не нашлось, и имеем то, что имеем. Я дерусь почти через год после своего крайнего боя.
Yeah, I was trying to fight in October, and I got a scheduled fight, but unfortunately my opponent got injured, and we have what we have basically. I wanted to came back earlier, but it happens on the now.
I remember the situation with Volkan Ozdemir. Did a UFC offer you somebody else instead of Volkan, or maybe there was no option?
Ну, как раз она спрашивает, да, были ли какие-то еще варианты, когда Волкан снялся?
Да, было два варианта. Один из них отскочил сам по себе ввиду невозможности, видимо, спортсмена выступать. А второй вариант требовал другого тренировочного лагеря, поэтому мы с командой решили взять брейк.
Но можно назвать ей имя? Просто мы вчера с тобой тоже об этом разговаривали,
Да,
что это
конечно.
Yeah, it was basically two options, and one of them was fight versus Prochaska, but it's a pretty big fight, so we're supposed to have like completely different camp, and we decided not to take this fight such on short notice.
Okay, I understand. Your UFC debut was in fight with current light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz. What do you remember from this fight, and what would you do in another way if you could fight with him tomorrow?
Ну, она говорит, что твое возвращение в UFC, как раз первый бой был против чемпиона Яна Блаховича. Ну, какие, может, поделишься эмоциями, да, из этого боя, и если бы тебе завтра предстояло выйти в октагон с ним, что бы ты сделал иначе?
Ну, на первый бой бы я, наверное, не стал выходить, а по поводу эмоций я с трудом вспоминаю себя, поэтому мне сложно передать эмоции, которые я получил в бою. А если бы бой произошел завтра, то поменялось бы очень много.
Ну, может, скажешь, что конкретно она сейчас, небось, переспросит.
Да, я, как бы, мне сложно так. Ну, я не знаю, все мои действия были бы иными. И будь я в хорошей форме во время нашего первого боя, он бы тоже выглядел иначе. Поэтому сейчас мне сложно об этом рассуждать.
Yeah, I can't recall any specific emotions, but I could say I could say that if I would be like in a better shape for our fight against Blachowicz, it would be like completely different competition. But yeah, it's kind of hard to say like now what I would have done differently, but it will be like completely different fight. I was a little out of shape at the moment.
Okay, final question from me. Do you think it's okay that middleweight champion comes to your division and immediately fights for the belt?
Ну, как ты относишься к тому, что чемпион среднего веса поднимается в весе и сразу ему дают бой за пояс?
Я думаю, что чемпион имеет на это право. И уже не раз в организации такие бои происходили, поэтому все нормально. Это хороший бой и для Блаховича, и для Адесани в плане медиа-раскрутки.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight from media point of view because like he's a champion, he got the full right to fight for the title, and it's not like the first time when UFC do it. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good fight for both of them.
Okay, big regards from Polish fans, Nikita, and thank you, sir, for your translation. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll take our final set of questions from Zach with UFC.com.
Hey, so obviously Magomed's had some good wins in the octagon. What has kind of impressed you the most about his body of work, and what entices you about the matchup the most?
Ну, у Магомеда много хороших побед, да, в октагоне, у него хорошая серия. Что вообще больше всего тебя впечатляет в его навыках, ну и вообще вот в чем ты видишь его какие-то главные преимущества?
Магомед отличный боец, без слабо выраженных, без сильно выраженных слабых сторон, но у всех в игре есть дыры, поэтому вряд ли его можно назвать идеальным бойцом. Что впечатляет? Не знаю. Возможно, нужно обратить внимание на его чувство дистанции и его левый прямой.
I think what I'm most impressed his distance feeling and his left cross. It's most impressive things, and I think he's a great fighter. He's pretty well rounded. I can see like obvious weaknesses, but nobody perfect. And I think I can find some holes in his game and get the W.
Other than the obvious goal of getting the win, is there any type of goal you have to kind of performance that you want to make in this fight?
Но помимо очевидной цели победить, ставишь ли ты какие-то еще дополнительные задачи в этом бою? Может быть, то есть вот у тебя есть, как ты хотел бы построить свое выступление, там, нокаут, бонус, вот что-то помимо просто очевидной победы, какие-то есть задачи?
Я всегда выхожу в октагон с желанием получить бонус за красивый бой. Каких-то, не знаю, задач нет. Есть желание выйти, подраться и показать хороший бой.
Yeah, I always go into the octagon wanting to get not only W but a bonus. So I'm pretty sure that we can get like a great fight with Magomed, and I'm ready. I'm ready for it, and I'm very excited.
And last one for me. Even though it's been a long layoff, when you look ahead to 2021, how frequently do you hope you can get in there? Should everything go right for you on Saturday?
У тебя был вот долгий простой, соответственно, как бы ты хотел часто драться в 2021 году, если, там все пройдет без травм, все пойдет по твоему плану?
Главное, чтобы все действительно прошло без травм. После боя я, наверное, смогу говорить чуть больше, но я готов драться так часто, как часто мне будет выпадать такая возможность.
Yeah, I probably will tell you more after the fight, and the most important thing that I hope everything will go without any injuries, but I can really accept fights as often as I can get offered the fight. So
cool. Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Nikita. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 8 ranked UFC bantamweight Pedro Munhoz. We're now joined by number 8 ranked UFC bantamweight Pedro Munhoz, and we'll take our first set of questions from Jim Barcelona with the Miami Herald.
Pedro, just how did training camp go for you? Did you do anything differently for this camp, or was it just business as usual?
Hey, what's up? So yeah, it was really good training camp. Even though with a pandemic, we have some limitation, people that comes in the gym in and out. So, but even though I've been very, very, very grateful to to train as hard as I could, with the best training partners and the coach we have over American Top Team. So feel 100% ready.
How do you feel coming off the last fight? I mean, the last 3 fights, you had a victory, but tough fights. But the last fight of the night, split decision. How do you feel coming off that one, your performance there, and just getting ready for this one?
Oh man, I feel great. There was definitely um, something that I felt really good about myself. My fighting, 5 rounds and such a tough an opponent, be able to get the fight of the night and no injury, and just get back 4 or 5 months later and fight Jimmie. So it's definitely something that I'm very proud of myself and keeping accomplishing all of my dreams.
Well, this is something, your career, it's also life, business, you enjoy it. What makes being a fighter for you so special?
That is definitely something that I was born, with this spark. Always watching, I grew up watching Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, and that's something that I've been working my whole life, to be the best fighter that I could, but even more important, be the best version of myself as a human being.
And lastly, for me, Pedro, you've helped other fighters have helped you, American Top Team, just a great training facility, a great place. Later on in life, when it's done with fighting, is that something you want to continue to do, is help other fighters, train other fighters, and go from there?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. When I'm not even though when I'm in training for fights, um, I see friends and training partners, needed like a little bit of help to get ready for the future fights. It's something that I love to help people, and even better is something that I love to do, in MMA, mixed martial arts in general. I believe when my professional fight career is over, it's definitely something that I'll enjoy, being a part of the sport for a long time and sharing, a little bit the knowledge that I have to people that I was going to train, and friends, training partners, and all of that. Definitely, I enjoy a lot help people.
Well, there's a lot of knowledge that you have that you can share, not just a little. So thank you so much. All the best on the fight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Caceres Press.
Hey, Pedro. I know this fight was bounced around, for a couple of dates in the last, 2 months or so. Just what was it like having all those changes made within a short amount of time?
Yeah, it was not bad at all. The fight got rescheduled a couple times, but we here. Everything seems works really good, and just feel blessed to do what I love.
How do you feel that both you and Jimmie have changed as fighters since the last one?
From the last one, I'm sorry.
From the last fight.
Can you repeat that question again? I cut like literally like the final.
I'm sorry. How do you feel both you and Jimmie have changed as fighters since the last fight?
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's definitely we got a little more experience. We got a lot of more hours inside the octagon. I see some of his fights previews, seems like he's, got better and, some skills here and there. I do believe that I'm a better fighter too than I was a few years ago. So super excited, man. Fighting Jimmie, great guy, tough opponent, great person, and looking forward to share the octagon with him and make one of, a great fight for the people that watch the first fight. They kind of like know a little bit what's gonna happen this time, so it's gonna be fire.
When you have a rematch like this, he won the last one. Is it in your mind like, I want to avenge it, I want to get it back and all that? Or going into it, is it just feel completely brand new, no emotion from the last fight?
And my point of view is brand new, no emotions, at all. Just try to be as professional, and we all know that each fight, each fight is a fight, and we both got better. We both, after that, it was 6 years ago almost, we fought the best fighters in this division. And I'm number 8, he's number 9. It's definitely something new. It was a long time ago. We both got better, so it feels for me that it's something new. So I try not to get attached with anything that brings like emotion from the last fight and things like that. Is just another fight, and that's how I see it.
Hey, thank you, Pedro, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Laerte Viana with Super Heritage.
Pedrinho, me escuta?
Sim.
Pedrinho, você e o Rivera vão se encontrar, aliás, depois de mais de 5 anos, na época, no UFC São Paulo, uma luta bem apertada, muita gente, inclusive, marcou vitória sua. O que mudou do Pedro Munhoz de 2015 para o Pedro Munhoz de 2021? E o que você espera fazer de diferente para o resultado ser outro?
Show. Muitas coisas mudaram. Eu acredito que eu evolui bastante tecnicamente, emocionalmente como lutador. O Jimmie também. Nós, de 5 anos e meio para cá, nós lutamos com os melhores lutadores dessa divisão. Ele lutou com o Aljamain, eu lutei com o Aljamain, ele lutou com o Pereira, que é o atual campeão. A minha última luta com o Frank Edgar. Então, nós, desde a última luta nossa, nós temos várias horas dentro do octágono. Eu acredito que ele melhorou também como eu. Eu posso dizer assim, no meu ponto de vista, que eu melhorei bastante em relação técnica, física, emocional também. Bastante experiência ali, lutei com ex-campeões mais de algumas vezes. E o Jimmie também. Então, eu acredito que mesmo essa luta tendo sido 5, quase 6 anos atrás, eu acredito que a gente vai trazer bastante coisa nova para esse nosso confronto.
Claro que o foco está todo no Rivera, um oponente bastante duro, mas se tudo der certo, braço levantado, como é que você se vê na categoria do peso galo depois dessa luta? Onde você se encontra? Porque a elite ali tá meio bagunçada, né?
Sim, total. Acredito ali que uma vitória ali impressionante ali em cima do Jimmie Rivera, que é um atleta duríssimo, também ranqueado ali. Eu acredito que vai me colocar ali próximo dos top 5 ali, onde eu estava antes. E continuar fazendo o meu trabalho ali, mostrando a minha melhor versão e trazendo lutas assim animadas e pro público em geral.
Só para terminar, o Dillashaw tá voltando, né? De suspensão depois de mais de 2 anos, é um nome bem forte, um ex-campeão popular. De repente, você teria um interesse particular em dar as boas-vindas para ele? E se sim, queria que você falasse como é que você vê o encaixe técnico entre vocês.
Claro, com certeza. Eu nunca escolhi nenhum oponente nessa divisão, nunca escolhi nenhum oponente. Na minha carreira profissional em si, eu sempre lutei com lutadores que sempre me forneceram a estante. No UFC também nunca foi diferente. E acredito que dependendo de todos os planos acontecer da maneira que esperamos, uma luta contra o TD Dillashaw seria uma honra para mim, lutar contra um ex-campeão, cara duríssimo. E ele é bem técnico na parte em pé. Então acho que seria uma luta assim bem atraente para o público também, para a organização.
Valeu, obrigado.
Valeu.
We'll take our next set of questions from Pablo Santamaria with Lindsay MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Pedro. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the first thing I want to ask you is the last time you fought against Jimmie, it was a very close fight. What can we expect in this fight? Also a very close fight, or you think you're going to dominate Jimmie?
Yes. I expected a tough fight like the last time that we fought. He and I, we have been fighting the best fighters in that division so far. We both grew as a person, as a professional athlete as well. That's that fight Saturday is definitely, I believe, it's gonna be one of the best fights on the card.
For sure. How do you feel fighting in the bantamweight division? That is one of the best in the UFC.
Feel great. It's just perfect. Division that it's really good for my body, and during the fight week and doing all the final weight cuts, and every time I feel really good. I never had any problem. And yeah, so bantamweight, Many people has been asking me before to drop to flyweight, things like that, but I think it's not going to be healthy for my body, regarding to amount of muscle and lean fat and muscle and things like that. So definitely bantamweight division is the one that fits my body the best, and so many great fighters in that division that makes me even more excited, to be the best version that I can be.
For sure. Okay, a big fight is coming between Aljo and Pierre Yang. You face Aljo and Pierre is training in your gym. How do you see this fight playing?
Wow, and that's gonna be a very interesting fight. Um, Fought Aljo, and then I lately Pedro has been training American Top Team and see a little bit of his training with Beast, training super hard, and Aljo is very technical fighter as well. So that's definitely a fight that's it's gonna be very interesting to watch.
Okay, and my last question is, what's your prediction for this fight, Pedro? For your
I'm a
fight?
finisher. I'm a finisher. I'm always like to chase. I like to exchange. I don't mind to fight toe to toe. It's kind of my style. That's why it makes my fight very interesting for the public. That's the way that I like to fight. That's the way that I train, and that's how I had a vision to every single fight that I go inside the octagon is just try to bring the best that I can and try to finish my opponents with all the respect.
Okay, would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Say it again.
Would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Oh, to Ecuadorian friends. Oh, in Spanish.
If you can do it, that's okay. That would be awesome.
Un gran abrazo para el pueblo de Ecuador. Muchísimas gracias por todo el apoyo y support.
Muchas gracias, Pedro, and good luck on the fight.
De nada, gracias.
We'll take our next question from Omer Mursavici with S Sport.
Yes, sir. Hello, Pedro. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Pedro, a lot of big stars working at American Top Team just like you. Can you tell us what it feels like to prepare for a fight at ATT?
Oh, it's definitely, it's a great feeling. Every day walking in the gym just so full of lions, and it's definitely something that inspires me every day to become a better, the best athlete that I can be.
Okay, Pedro, my other question, you had a both winning streak and now you had a losing streak. What is like to be mentally control this situation?
Yeah, 100%. I believe that our mind, controls the body, and that's something that I always believe and always working, in my emotional skills. Um, you know, being fighting, being in the ranking top 10, top 5 for the last 3, 4 years. So no easy fights. You know, I'm very proud of all my performance. And I hold myself accountable for all the things that I haven't done in my career, and that's and I still have a lot of fire inside of me. I still have a lot of desire of become the champion in this division, and that's the purpose that I'm here today, so I can uh, impact other people's life.
Okay, my last question, last thing. You had a big fan base in Turkey, Pedro. They love you. What would you say to fans in Turkey?
Well, I love Turkey. I've been there in Istanbul once. Looking forward to go back, and I love that country. I love that culture. I love that food. The people, it's really nice.
What is
And
your favorite, Pedro? Like a food?
I like the kebab. I like the rice you guys make. I like the type of sauce you guys use, the spice you guys use on the food. I enjoy the tea as well. We went out. We had I had like a 15 of those teas, and I was like awake for 2 days.
Yeah, you had a good taste, Pedro. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
We'll take our next set of questions from Augusto Herman with Somos MMA.
Hey Pedro, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I want to ask you, what do you prefer, English or Spanish?
Could be either or.
¿Te molesta si es en español?
No, está bien.
Bien, Pedro, quisiera consultarte primero, la pelea anterior con Jimmie fue a una decisión bastante cerrada también. Venís de una decisión cerrada y controversial contra Frankie Edgar. Entonces quiero consultarte si sentís presión o te sentís presionado por finalizar la pelea para justamente no dejarlo en manos de los jueces.
Sí, sí. Definitivamente, dejar la pelea para los jueces puede ser una fatalidad, ¿me entiendes? Mi manera de pelear es siempre adelante y siempre buscando un knockout o una submisión. Y la estrategia de esa pelea no cambia, es el tipo de peleador que soy. Y yo siempre busco la pelea que termina, porque a mí no me gusta dejar de la mano de los jueces.
Perfecto. Y en cuanto a la pelea en sí, ¿en dónde crees que van a estar las claves para justamente llevártela?
Yo creo que va a ser una pelea disputadísima. Jimmie es un peleador muy bueno, resistente, muy duro y muy técnico también. Pero yo quiero que esa pelea va la más grande parte del tiempo va a ser una pelea de pie y yo voy a estar buscando el knockout.
Perfecto. Y Pedro, te consulto en cuanto a lo que viene después. Digo, el año pasado por una cuestión u otra no pudiste pelear tan seguido. ¿Te gustaría tener mayor actividad durante este 2021?
Sí, sí, me gustaría pelear el medio de año, una vez más el final de año. Como 3 peleas, yo creo que es algo bueno para mi persona, la manera que me gusta pelear, entrenar. Yo estoy siempre en el gimnasio entrenando, mejorando mis técnicas y ayudando también mis compañeros de entreno. Y entonces yo estoy siempre activo y a mí me gusta pelear 2, 3 veces al año.
Bien, y para terminar quisiera consultarte, si bien lógicamente tenés la pelea contra Jimmie primero, quiero preguntarte por si tenés a alguien contra quien quisieras pelear. Recién decías que si ganas esta pelea probablemente te catapulte al top 5 de la división. Y te quería preguntar por un par de nombres, si te gustaría una revancha contra Frankie Edgar después de lo que pasó en la última pelea. Y también preguntarte por TJ Dillashaw, que aparentemente quiere volver, pidió por el campeón o por un top 5. Si vos estás en el top 5 después de esta pelea, ¿te gustaría enfrentarlo?
Sí, estoy bien enfocado para esa pelea ahora. Ahora no puedo pensar después de esa pelea. Jimmie es un atleta muy experiente. Nosotros peleamos, entonces estoy bien enfocado para esa pelea. Después que pasar esa pelea, assim, yo voy a pensar yo voy a empezar a pensar a quién puedo pelear después, una pelea que hace sentir, una pelea buena. A mí no me gusta escoger las peleas, yo peleo a quien UFC crees que va a ser una buena pelea. Y yo creo que a quien UFC mandar a nosotros, yo voy a estar listo para pelear duro, como siempre, y buscando siempre la victoria.
Perfecto, Pedro. Muchísimas gracias y mucha suerte el sábado.
Gracias.
That's all the time we have for you today, Pedro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 12 ranked UFC women's strawweight, Angela Hill. We're now joined by number 12 ranked UFC women's strawweight, Angela Hill, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cape Press.
Hello, Angela. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Angela, my first question. I know we like to joke that if we don't see you every month, that it's a long layoff for you. But do you feel like it's been too long since your last one, or has it been a benefit? You know, nagging injuries, you get a little break, go back to the gym to work on your game. Has it been good to have a little bit of space since your last fight?
It has, but I don't really feel like I was off because I was in fight camp after my fight in September. Like I was in fight camp for the December card, and I did like a full 8 weeks, which is usually pretty rough for me. Just because I hate thinking about someone for that long. But I did a full 8 week fight camp. And when I got COVID, I did take some time off to recover from that and just not get anyone else sick. But after that, I got right back on the ball, got back to the gym, and I have been able to learn some new tricks. I'm hoping I'll be able to implement them in this fight. But I've been working a lot of just grappling lately. I know everyone always says focus on grappling, but I have, and I almost didn't hit pads for the Tisha fight. I was just working on my grappling and really trying to be more offensive in that area. Usually I just focus on defense when I'm in fight camp, but for that fight camp, I was thinking all offense. So now that I've had that time to let that marinate, I'm really looking forward to using it in the fight. I don't know if it's gonna go that way. I'm gonna try to just see what's open and not force anything, but that's a big part of my training right now that I'm really excited about.
I know you're very proud of that active schedule. I was looking at it, everyone was very, excited about Kevin Holland. Had you made it to that last fight in December, you would have tied him 5 fights in a calendar year.
All
Did
right.
it bother you honestly that like you couldn't also reach that mark, or was it, that's just how it goes sometimes?
Yeah, it bothered me mostly because I did the whole fight camp. Like the fight camp's the worst part of fighting. In the fact that I did all the work and I wasn't able to show up, like it really sucked. And I'm looking at the positives with that. Like I'm happy that I was able to recover so fast. I'm happy that I didn't get too sick. So I was one of the lucky ones. And everyone who's in fight camp right now, they're taking a huge risk with their health. They're in there during the pandemic, just grappling with people, sparring with people. So I think everyone understands the risk that they're taking, but I do feel lucky that I haven't had residual effects like a lot of the fighters have been reporting. And yeah, I'm just ready to go.
Well, we're certainly glad you're feeling better. My final question, you have a new show with Karen Bryant. What had happened was,
Yeah.
how are you enjoying doing that show, and how has it helped you get better on camera? Because we know you also do the analyst stuff.
It helps a lot. I also do a podcast with my husband, a ceremonial weigh-in podcast, and then back in the day, I was doing a little show with Jessica Penne. So all that stuff has just really helped me be able to speak better. And it's hard to gather your thoughts into a quick sentence sometimes. So being on camera just allows you to get that practice in, get those reps in, just like training. And when I'm on ESPN, a lot of people are like, "Oh, have you practiced before? Have you done this before or gone to school for it?" And I'm like, "No, just practice a lot." So yeah, it's been working out.
Do you find yourself saying what had happened was just in regular conversation more?
Yeah, well, I'll say what happened was, and then I'll think about it and I'll go, what had happened? Yeah, it's stupid, but I really like doing the show with her. She's a veteran. She knows the game. She knows how to get a good conversation going, and yeah, we talk about some fun stuff. But yeah, I always think that, oh, what happened? Oh, what had happened?
Hey, thank you, Angela. Good luck.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from David Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Angela. Let me go ahead and get the uncomfortable question out of the way now, which is Tisha Torres, because that was the fight you were supposed to have. It was scheduled in December. Unfortunately, you got COVID. You can't control that, obviously. But was that fight offered for this card and it didn't happen? Can you kind of walk me through the particulars of what actually happened?
I've been waiting for a call from Mick to reschedule that fight, especially after listening to Tisha's post-fight scrum. She's like, "Oh, I want to get right back in there, quick turnaround, blah blah blah." And so I'm waiting, like, okay, well, she already signed the contract for me for December, so nothing has changed. It's not like she fought someone who was ranked or she fought someone who even had experience or fights in the UFC. And then I keep hearing back that she doesn't want the fight anymore. So that really bummed me out because it's like a redemption thing. And the Yoder's probably coming in here with the same idea. Like, this is her chance for redemption of a loss that happened in the past, like a long time ago. So I was excited about that fight. I feel like I've gotten better than her in the recent years, and she kind of showed that she has no interest in fighting me. So it's not a big deal now because I have a fight, but at the time, there were no other offers on the plate. It was either that or fight in June. And I'm not sure when the Tisha fight would have happened, but she basically told, like, from what I know, she basically told the matchmaker, like, "Hey, you can either fight Angela or wait until October and be on the bench." And she said, "I'll wait till October." So, I don't get a person like that. Fighters fight. And to me, like, that's like a saying that I've always felt strongly about. Fighters fight, show up, make some money, put on a show, and show what you've been working on. And if she's not willing to do it, I'll move on. But I do think it's kind of funny that she'd rather sit out that long than fight me.
With that being said, I'm sure this didn't really play into your mind, but is it kind of ironic that given that situation that you're fighting Ashley Yoder this week and a fighter you have a win over where, in terms of rankings, in terms of position, the division, this win doesn't do as much for you. No offense to Ashley Yoder because you already have a win over her, but obviously you want to fight. So you're fighting her. Is that kind of the point?
Yeah, I feel really confident about this fight. I feel really confident again that I've evolved a lot faster and I have more tricks up my sleeve. But every fight's a risk, and I think that's the main reason Tisha doesn't want to fight me now because the risk is even higher now than it was before. So every fight's a risk, no matter how confident you feel about it. Anyone can show up and get a knockout or submission or just be stronger or faster, and it's just a risk I'm willing to take. Like, I'm not getting any younger. I definitely want to string together another streak, and I do accept that I lost my last two fights, but I honestly feel like I've performed the best that I ever had in 2020, and stringing together a couple more wins will be a good start off to getting close to a title run. So I know that's far in the future, but I know, like, the strawweight division, especially once you break into the top 15, that title shot is like within a short grasp. So I'm definitely working towards that. I'll string together as many wins as I need to until I get a ranked opponent. Hopefully that'll be the next fight with a win over Yoder. But yeah, I'm definitely not looking past her. I know she's tough. I know she's scrappy. I know she's, like, clingy and really good at getting on the back. So yeah, it's a risk I'm willing to take in order to get to that next step.
If there's a benefit of a rematch, 4 years later that you already won, is that you can actually show your improvements you made over the last 4 years. Is there a little bit of a proving point in a fight like this to say, okay, 4 years ago I beat her by unanimous decision. I know you've had a couple of maybe controversial split decisions in a row. Is there a little bit of, like, let me go out and finish this girl, let me go out and dominate this girl, kind of show how much I've grown in 4 years?
Exactly. Like, I want to put it on her. I want to finish her. I want it to just be a completely dominant performance. Like, the last time, I think it was unanimous and I think it was 30-27, but I don't remember. But I want a 30-26. I want a 30-25. I want to, if it goes to decision, that's what I want. And I feel like if that's my goal, then the finish will come. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to most, is maybe trying out my new tricks, but on top of anything, just going for it, not holding back, and hopefully just showing how much I improved since I fought Watterson.
And last one for me. I know you work on a lot of things in training camp. I know this was kind of short notice, but I'm kind of curious. Fighting Ashley Yoder, is there any chance we might see a little bit of that Stephen A. Smith combination you've been working on in this fight?
Man, I've been practicing it. We have a call for it. So watch out. You might see it. But yeah, I mean, you do generate a lot of power when you throw your hand all the way behind your butt and then punch the ceiling. So who knows?
Thanks, Angela.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Pablo Santamaria with Noti MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Angela, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you're coming from 2 losses. What do you learn from those losses? Because one of them was a very close match against Claudia. What do you learn from that?
I learned that I can't just strike. I have to do more. I have to mix it up. I have to go to the ground, or at least try to go to the ground, because I think every striker knows at this point that even if they just attempt to take you down, sometimes the judges score that, or even if they just push you, they don't punch you, judges will score that. So I'm trying to be more dominant, and in order to be more dominant, getting on top of someone is the best way to do it. Like if you're getting on top of someone, hitting them, not worried about holding just to score points, but just hitting them, getting the punch count up. I think that's my goal going forward, is just to be more versatile, hit more level changes, threaten the takedown, get the takedown, go for submissions when it gets up, no sweat, because I feel super confident on my feet. And I think if I mix it up more, then I'm just going to become a more dangerous fighter. So that's what I learned in the last 2 fights. That grappling scores more than punches, and that's my goal. And I felt that way immediately after the Watterson fight, and I've just been working towards that goal ever since.
Okay, for sure. You already had a victory over Ashley. Do you think that gives you like a mental edge over her?
I think so, but I also think that Ashley is going in there with maybe a little less weight on her. For me, like I'm ranked, she's not, so she's going in there, with nothing to lose. And for me, like I want to break my lose streak. I want to beat this girl that I already beat. I don't want to, make the mistake of fighting someone who I already beat, and now I'm losing that clout. So there's a little more weight, I feel like, with that, but at the same time, yeah, I feel confident. I feel like would beat her now. And I feel like just I feel stronger in a lot of places. And it's funny because I've actually been working a lot of the positions where she is strong, just by accident, just because I wanted to. So from the Watterson fight on, I've been working a lot on hip throw defense and judo stuff, cage work, just really getting a good understanding of that. And I think that's gonna just help me become a better fighter all in all, but especially against Yoder, that's what she's really good at. So I feel really confident just in the fact that I've been training almost for her, and then I just happened to get her.
Okay, for sure. And if you get the victory, who do you want to fight next? Maybe Tisha, or do you have another name on your mind?
Tisha won't fight me next, so I'm moving on. Yeah, she can sit out for 8 months. I mean, I'd love a rematch against Claudia. I think that fight was very obvious that I should have won. So I'd love to rematch it with her. Uh, who else? I mean, Watterson was a good fight. I don't think she'll fight me again though, but if she's down, I'm down. But like when it comes to new people, I love to fight Marina Rodriguez. She put on a great fight against Ribas, and I think it would be a hell of a striking match for sure. I could practice my grappling attack, but I won't be too worried if she gets up. So I think that would be a really exciting fight as well.
I agree. That fight with Marina will be awesome. And the last thing, would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Ecuador, what's up? Hola. Thank you for being fans.
Okay, thank you very much, Angela, and good luck on the fight.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with ForTheWin.MMA.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good to talk to you, Andy. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being with us today. Well, 2020 was a bit of a sour years in terms of results for you. You fought twice last year, two split decisions that didn't go your way against great opponents, but this doesn't seem to affect your stock at the moment. Does the current skid affect your approach in this rematch against Ashley Yoder? Is this something you keep in mind, or does your confidence takes over and shepherds you wherever you need to go?
I think if anything, I feel like the last two losses are forcing me to be a more dynamic fighter and not just a striker who can get back up. And you know, it's hard to accept those losses just because in the moment I felt like I did enough to win. But I feel like in the futures is those hitting those bumps in the road are just gonna make me a much more complete fighter and a much more dominant fighter. So yeah, I still tell myself like, hey, don't forget like those fights were awesome fights, because it's so easy as a fighter to dwell on your record or dwell on a win or a loss just based on what a judge said that it is. And it's easy to lose that confidence in your ability because it's like, well, that was a great performance, but this judge said it was a loss, so now I'm mad at the performance. So a lot of times when I say, oh, I'm on a 7-fight win streak, I'm on a 5-fight win streak, it's really just me telling myself like, hey, don't doubt yourself, know that you're improving, know that you're getting stronger, you're on the right path. You just gotta keep making those adjustments, keep doing what you've been doing, and eventually no one will be able to beat you. So I think that's what I took mostly is you know, just forcing myself to attack in different positions, not just stay striking, not just be one dimensional, but just really mix up my game and yeah, use everything.
Well, you're taking this fight on 1 week's notice like a gangster. You've said that you're inspired by guys like Cowboy Cerrone and his willingness to take on all comers. Can you talk about the mental approach needed to engage in those situations and describe a bit of how you live these moments personally?
It's like that YOLO mentality, right? I think we were saying it when we were kids, but yeah, you live every day like it's your last. You never know what's gonna happen. If anything, 2020 showed us that like this, we're barely surviving as a species, you know? So why not? Why not go out with a few good memories, a few exciting times? The ups and the downs, they just make the ups bigger, you know, the downs make the ups greater. And I would regret if I didn't take this opportunity or all the short notice opportunities that I have, because I think what if, you know, what if that ended up being a spectacular performance? What if that was the one that catapulted me on my next win streak that got me to the title shot? So I've never, just because I've always stayed active and I always train. I have a gym in my garage now, so like even when my gym gets shut down, I have somewhere to train. Like just the fact that I'm always prepared makes it simply a mental shift. Like it's not like I'm not in shape to fight. I just have to be mentally ready to fight. And I feel like whenever I get those opportunities, I just say yes, because like why not? What's the worst that could happen? I lose the fight, big deal, you know? But the best thing that could happen is I win, I make some money, I get a bunch of great memories, I get to show everyone how good I am as a fighter, and yeah, it just keeps making my stock rise. So yeah, I'm willing to take risks like that just because the reward's so high.
Hearing you talking about this makes me realize that you and Cowboy could actually do really cool things together on a podcast sometime. So
People
hopefully
keep
you can
telling me
guys
to
do
talk to
that.
Cowboy, hook up. Oops, sorry, hook up the the call. I can kind of ride a horse.
Yeah, well, you've been doing a lot of media work for the promotion and in your own social media this last time. I want to congratulate you on that because I really enjoy your conversations with Karen Bryant.
Thank
Um,
you.
no problem. Could you tell me how does this dimension of the fight game have served you to grow as a fighter yourself?
I think just diving into people's past and seeing their journey from maybe winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one, to just going on a streak and dominating, and then realizing that people don't even remember that about that fighter. They're like win and loss, like their ups and downs. Once you're on top, people just know, hey man, you're on top and you're great and you put on some great performances recently. So it is cool to just look into people's careers and just see how they've evolved and how they've gotten better and how they never gave up. And it gives me hope for myself, for my own career in the future. And it's cool. Like every now and then I'll be watching tape and I'm like, ooh, that's a nice move. I'm gonna try that, you know, and then I go to the gym and try it and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it gives me a lot to work with. And I think a lot of fighters don't study tape just to study it, like study other people's fights, not necessarily someone that you're fighting. And I think it's actually a really good thing for a fighter to do mentally, is just studying, watching people who do things better than you and you try to mimic that, asking questions with your coach like, hey, I saw this cool move, how do you do it, or can you break it down for me? Like all that stuff has really helped me in my fight game and just allowed me to take different paths that I wouldn't necessarily take if I didn't have a coach, if I only had a coach telling me what to work on. So that's been a cool part of studying too, is just like getting that confidence with seeing everyone else's journey, especially the people who are where you want to be now, and also just stealing their moves.
Well, thank you so much for your time and best of luck in your fight on Saturday.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for you today, Angela. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC women's flyweight Montana De La Rosa. We're now joined by UFC women's flyweight Montana De La Rosa, and we'll take our first set of questions from Pedro Gonzalez with K-Type Press.
Hey Montana, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Enjoying this quarantine in.
How's it going? Because I believe this is your second fight of, the quarantine era, so to speak.
Yeah, second fight that actually happened. My last fight was scheduled and then my husband got COVID and then I got it after, so that one was canceled. But I mean, I'm kind of used to it now, used to being here. I know what to expect and I'm just excited for Saturday night.
I want to go back to that last one, obviously scrapped at the last minute. Can you just describe how it all happened, getting the news that one of you guys was positive and just that immediate aftermath?
Yeah, I mean, the whole week was normal. Made weight, got back, got some good sleep, woke up in the morning, and then kind of did like a shakeout. And then we got a text and that said his test came back positive and they wanted to test him again. So he got tested and then we kind of waited a little bit, acted like I was still going to fight because we never knew if it was going to be positive or negative. And then it came back positive again. So we realized the fight was going to be canceled and yeah, it really sucked. Just went back home, started training again, had a little vacation and then got back to it.
Now, you said that your husband had gotten it, and did you say confirm you'd also tested positive for COVID yourself?
Yeah, I got it a few weeks after him, and I didn't really have any symptoms. I just had like a headache. He had like a fever and a headache for a couple days.
Understand. Obviously, with the last fight canceled, out of that precaution, but was there ever any talk about trying to get you back in the cage sooner since you'd already gone through a bit of a mini camp and everything?
Just like the first day they told me, they asked me if I wanted to fight 2 weeks later, and I was like, well, I think I'm gonna get it. Like, I don't know if there's a point in scheduling me when I'm probably gonna test positive, which I'm glad they just gave her another fight. I think she fought Jillian, so she was able to get in there right away, and we had to deal with COVID going around the household for that month.
Understood. Well, I'm glad you guys are all doing well. My final question, just how do you feel you match up stylistically with Mayra?
I think she's a super tough Brazilian. She has 2 really good wins in the UFC with some arm bars. She's really good on the ground. I'm just excited to test my skills against her and show everybody on Saturday.
Hey, thank you, Montana, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with ForTheWin.MMA. We'll actually jump to Zach with UFC.com.
So I'll ask the questions, but you can still look into this camera for this.
Oh, okay.
So after your last fight, you came in, you had worked with guys in Denver, and it seemed like you were pretty felt good about your performance. Can you just talk about the takeaways from that last fight? Because it was a close fight, and it seemed like it was kind of razor thin when it went to judges.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really good in there, like better than I've actually ever felt in a fight. I felt confident. I sparred a lot. I felt great with all my coaches and my training partners. Going into that fight, I knew I would be a lot better on the feet. I was obviously disappointed with the decision, but I was just glad I could get in there and just feel myself and express myself in the cage.
And as you've gone through a couple more camps now. How have you kind of built off of that performance, even though maybe you didn't get the result that you wanted, but like you said, you felt really good in there.
Yeah, it's just being more and more confident in there every time I step into the cage. Just having my coaches with me every fight, I think just makes me more and more confident and going back to the drawing board and taking what I learned from that fight and applying it onto the next ones.
And then you spoke to what kind of interests you about this matchup. Is there kind of any statement you'd like to make with this performance other than obviously getting a win?
No, I mean, the goal is always to go in there and get a win, and whatever comes after that is just a bonus.
And then as you kind of look forward, and this is the last one for me, you look forward to 2021. What are you kind of envisioning in terms of the amount of fights you want to have, especially as the UFC continues to put on events with pretty regular scheduling here?
Yeah, I mean, 3 fights a year sounds great to me, so just keep doing 3 fights a year.
That's all we have for you today, Montana. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by UFC featherweight Alex Caceres. We're now joined by UFC featherweight Alex Caceres, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage-Side Press.
Hey Alex, how are you?
Doing fine, and yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. Alex, you put together a nice win streak here. Is there anything in particular you attribute this run to, or is it just you've been able to put it together pretty well in the cage during this stretch?
Well, I know I'm always trying to get better, so I can attribute it to time and patience and effort and practice. You know, yeah, I can't tell you that much. You know, it's a puncher's chance every time you get in there too. You know, sometimes you lose to the worst, sometimes you lose to the best, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and it happens.
Since your days on The Ultimate Fighter, you've had, one of the more noticeable hairstyles in the UFC, and anytime you do something to it, fans obviously react to it and are surprised. What's it like when, people are almost invested in your look from the outside? What's that like?
It doesn't really bother me, or I don't really notice it or pay too much mind to it at all, you know. It's my hair. I can do whatever the hell I want to it.
You think you're going to keep it this look for a while?
I cut it. The reason why I cut it is because, I grew my hair out for a very long time. But in growing it out, before I grew it out, I had it shaped up, and it was shaped up uneven. I didn't do nothing about it, so I just let it grow out into the hair that everybody knew that I had and whatnot. And I decided to cut it and make sure that it was even, and I'm letting it grow back again, see what happens. I'm not really particular with any styles.
You talked about it during the media day yesterday, being the longest tenured UFC fighter. I want to ask, when you see guys like a Clay Guida, like a Jim Miller, they just have this ridiculous amount of years. It seems like they've just been in the UFC forever. I mean, do you see those guys, and are those the you know what? I want to be that guy years from now. I want to be that veteran of veterans in the UFC.
No, there's no desire. There's no desire to chase any type of result of that. I just noticed it, that I've been in the UFC for so long, and I don't feel as if my body is slowing down or deteriorating in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, I know that I can continue this career and continue this run as a martial artist for a very long time afterwards. And understanding that truth, I feel that I can put together a career that's longer than anybody has ever seen. Maybe I can attribute it to the way that I eat, the way that I live, or the way that I train, but it's just it was just a gesture, it was just noticing a certain thought process is all.
Understood. My final question, just how do you feel you match up stylistically with Kevin?
Pretty well, I guess. I feel like I'm confident in my abilities with anybody, matching up with anybody. I don't think there's how would you say? I don't know what to say about that, sir.
All good. Thank you, Alex, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jim Barcelona with the Miami Herald.
Thank you, Alex. Hey, how did training camp go for you? Did you train in Miami? How did things go? And did you change anything up with training, or just business as usual?
Yeah, training went very well. Didn't really switch things up. We always prepare for the next opponent, and we always try to get better every day. So I've been training in Miami. Yes, I have. I've been training with Enrico Coco at Zen Jiu-Jitsu. But other than that, nothing's really changed. We come into work every day, and we like to work hard. So other than that, it's the same old, same old.
Alec, what's it like training in South Florida? There are so many good places to train, so many good trainers down here. It's amazing. For you, just what is it like being a part of where you are and what you're doing there in the gym?
I never really put too much thought into that. Training for me is training no matter where I am. I think one of my coaches from Arizona, Coach Crouch, said it the best. Alex, I'm not worried about you. I know if you're training in a gym or on a mountain in a forest, you're gonna be prepared just fine. So to me, it's where my mind is at rather than where my body is at.
Hey, Alex, where does that take you? Where does that get you next, a victory in this fight?
Wherever the UFC puts me, to be honest with you, I do not have a decision in that matter or choice. I mean, I could call people out, but I have no desire. I don't know too many fighters. So wherever they want me to fight next and who they want me to fight next, I will accept it willingly.
Alex, do you have a street fighter background? I read that, don't know if it's true, just wanted to get that from you. It was very interesting to me. I know Jorge Masvidal came up with Street Fighter, has done very well. Was that something in your background as well? And did that transition well? If it was, did that transition well to MMA?
Yes, I performed in street fights before. I believe the videos are on YouTube as well. So it's pretty known that that's where I began my career, or I guess began my competitive fighting, I would say, but I was training years before that as well. Does the street fighting transfer into mixed martial arts in the cage? I can say it does. I can say any type of fighting will do. You know, you see a lot of styles and people fight very differently out there. And no matter what background they come from, they seem to do pretty well for themselves. So, yeah, I guess you can say so.
Well, Alex, all the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Omer Mursavici with S Sport.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
Doing fine. And yourself?
Yes, thank you. I'm fine too, man. Alex, you had a nice winning streak. Do you consider yourself a contender for a title after this winning streak?
I can't say that I can consider myself a contender for the title after this winning streak. To be quite honest with myself, I have not beaten anybody that is known yet in this winning streak. We had some mishaps where, you know, opponents would change and whatnot, but I'm beating some people that were fairly fresh into the UFC, even beginning with, I forgot, Austin Springer in San Antonio, Texas, Chase Hooper. Wait, was Austin Springer in San? I don't remember. Yeah, that was the last one. But yeah, they were newcomers to the UFC. Chase Hooper probably the most notable victory there because he was undefeated and he was a prospect that they were all looking at. And not only that, he did very well in his last fight as well. But other than that, I feel like I have to beat ranked people, people that are more known in order to be considered as a contender, to be honest with myself.
Okay, Alex. I always wonder about the fighters' lives. What's the hardest thing about being a fighter?
I guess the hardest thing about being a fighter.
A fight, maybe.
No, the fight is easy. The fight's where you release. Training is definitely difficult, but I also love training. Training is my release. I train hard. You can ask my coaches and my teammates. You know, I like to train. I'm the one who wants to spar hard, who wants to drill hard, who wants to put things at a higher pace. It's just the way that I like to do things. But I guess the hardest part for me about training, and it doesn't happen anymore because I have chosen my grounds correctly, but is training with people that don't kind of like to train as hard as I do. And it becomes very frustrating because I know that I could get more out of it if the person would push me further.
Okay, my last question, Alex. Big boxing match coming, Canelo versus Yildirim. What's your prediction? You following that match or?
I don't know any of those people. I don't watch boxing. I don't watch sports, so I cannot give you my opinion on that, sir.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Good luck on
Thank you.
Saturday.
We'll take our next set of questions from Ryan McCarthy with Low Kick MMA.
Hey Alex, how's it going, man?
Doing good, and yourself?
I'm good. Just a couple questions here. I mean, you're on a 3-fight winning streak, 2-0 in 2020. What does the ideal 2021 look like for you? Are you is there a specific number of fights you have planned or anything like that?
No, I take them as they come. I like fighting, you know, so to me it's not necessarily a career, and I know it sounds weird that I've been in the UFC for so long, but my ideals have changed over the years and course of time that I have grown and expanded myself to new horizons. I just like doing it, and I don't wish to search for results anymore. I just want to be there. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I just want to be.
Awesome. And you're in a tough featherweight division, man, arguably one of the best in the sport. So can we get a prediction on Volkanovski versus Ortega in the next that's happening next month?
I don't really look into it that far, honestly. I don't watch the sport. I don't watch fighting. Volkanovski, I heard of him, but I can't really even put a face on him if I had to like really think about it. Ortega, I know he's a great grappler and he has some heavy hands, so but I don't have an opinion. I don't have a bias towards any of them.
Okay. And last question for me here. Any cheat meals you're getting after a big W on Saturday?
No, I eat. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want. There's nothing really like a cheat meal or anything. I like fruits and vegetables, so I'm gonna keep eating them.
Cool. Thanks, man. Well, thanks for your time and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with ForTheWin.MMA.
Hola Alex, ¿cómo estás? ¿Me escuchas?
Sí, sí.
¿Todo bien contigo? Un gusto poder saludarte.
Sí, todo está bien.
Ya, te voy a hablar en inglés porque quiero aprovechar el tiempo con los colegas también.
Gracias.
How's Vegas been treating you, man? How's this fight week going?
It's been going really great. Vegas has been treating me well. It's weird, but I like the quarantine setup, honestly. I like just being able to focus and sitting in my own thoughts, channeling everything, filtering everything out of me, and really just getting down to it. It's been a good week. It's been a good last 3 fights that I had in Vegas, so it's been very good.
Well, last Saturday, we saw Julian Rosa take a big W. After the fight, he showed interest in fighting you. He thinks that could be a fun fight, and I cannot disagree. How would you like that matchup?
Who?
Julian Rosa. He finished with a great flying knee last week.
Julian Rosa, and he says he wants to fight me now. That's a featherweight? I don't know who he is.
You truly do not watch the sport you compete in, man.
No, I'm sorry.
No, that's amazing. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Why do you not watch the sport? Is there a particular reason?
It's boring to me. There's some fighters that aren't boring, but for the most part, it's a drag. I just don't like watching it. I don't like the way the people think about it. I don't like the way that people talk about it either. I think we have a very misconstrued and skewed view on what martial arts is, and the more and more we look at it that way and talk about it that way and view it that way, I feel like it's a perverse way of looking at it, and I think we're just bastardizing what martial arts truly is, and we have to really get back to the roots, the respect that we should have for every single fighter, the person that really comes up from the ground up and says, I'm going to step in here, risk everything and perform for, whatever, the glory of the crowd or whatever it may be that they're performing for. But it's something that it takes a special growth of a person in order to endure and do. So I think we have to be a little bit more tasteful on how we react to those situations. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that answer, Mayra. I really like it. Let's get to the fight. What do you believe is the most important aspect of what Kevin Croom brings to the table for your fight?
I believe Kevin Croom's he's a tough guy. He's a scrapper. He's willing. I think that's the most important aspect, that he's willing to fight, and he's willing to, go to the ends with me. As far as I can see, I don't know completely and 100%. I'm not in the other person's mind, but other than that, I think the willingness to fight me is the most important thing. That none of us are going to back down. But then again, everybody's willing to fight me. Like you said, another person's calling me out to fight me, and I've had like 3 or 4 people calling me out after my last victory to fight me. So just either they want to fight me because they want to have an exciting fight, or they just really perceive that they can beat me or run right through me and just make a name for themselves. It really doesn't matter to me.
Final question from me. You were scheduled to fight Giga Chikadze last year, but that unfortunately did not happen. The good thing was that you were booked soon after that fight against Springer, and you won by a submission. Would you be interested in rebooking a fight against Chikadze in the future?
Like I said, I have no interest in fighting any one person or anybody. I don't really know who they are. I don't care for the notoriety I might get for fighting. I just put me against another opponent and put me there, when I'm ready and able, and I'll be there to fight. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you feel like I should be fighting, or the UFC feels that I should be fighting, then that's who I'm going to fight. I don't say no.
Fair enough. Best of luck on the fight this Saturday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Alex. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 11 ranked UFC light heavyweight Magomed Ankalaev. We're now joined by number 11 ranked UFC light heavyweight Magomed Ankalaev, and we'll take the first set of questions. Ciryl Gane,
Да, я,
Caceres.
Магомед, я тебе помогу.
Все, давай.
Yes, hello, Magomed. Can you hear me?
Yep, he can hear me.
Okay. Magomed, was it refreshing this training camp after last year to finally have a new opponent to be focused on?
Насколько было приятно получить наконец-то нового оппонента, потому что в прошлом году, получается, у тебя вот такое одно противостояние, которое растянулось на целый год.
Да, я очень доволен. Прошлый год у меня почти год ушло на одного соперника. Сейчас мне дали нового соперника повыше рейтинга, поэтому я очень доволен, что UFC мне дают дорогу вперед, подниматься наверх.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of refreshing because it took almost a year to my last opponent, and I'm really glad and thankful for UFC that they gave me an opponent which is ranked higher than me.
How important is it to you to have a more active 2021? Because we know with everything that happened, your schedule was really slowed down last year.
Ну, насколько для тебя важно и насколько ты бы хотел быть более активным в 2021 году, потому что, много было факторов каких-то, и вот то, что там постоянно какие-то проблемы из-за коронавируса, и, в принципе, сложности такие. Насколько ты вот хотел бы в 2021 году быть более активным?
Да, я люблю быть активным, я постоянно хочу драться, я хочу к вершине подниматься, поэтому мне сейчас UFC дали шанс, дают мне сильных соперников, проверить себя, показать себя, поэтому я доволен.
Yeah, it's pretty important for me, and as you all know, I'd like to perform as often as I can, and I wanted to highlight one more time that it's a really good opponent, and I'm really glad that UFC can provide such an opportunity and such a good tests for my skills. So I'm looking forward for this for next year.
A lot of people like this fight stylistically. How do you feel you match up with Nikita Krylov?
Многие отмечают, что этот бой, ваши стили хорошо сочетаются, то есть вы оба зрелищных бойца. Вот ты сам что думаешь на этот счет, как твой стиль, как ваши стили вообще подходят друг к другу?
Никита Крылов, он очень хороший ударник. В последнем бою показал он, как он борется хорошо. Поэтому мне интересно биться с сильными соперниками, так как я тоже дерусь в стойке. Людям нравится стойка, ударка. Поэтому я думаю, этот бой будет очень зрелищным, интересным. Так, да.
Yeah, we know that Nikita Krylov is a pretty good striker, but in the last fight, he demonstrated to everyone that he also can grapple, and I'm also basically prepared for everything, and I really like to strike, so it's obviously will be a really cool matchup for the fans, and we will go for it and left everything in octagon.
Thank you, Magomed, and good luck.
Спасибо, удачи.
Все, спасибо вам тоже.
Thank
you. For our next set of questions from Martina Saluch with InTheCage.pl.
Hello, Magomed, how are you?
Привет, Магомед, как ты?
Ничего, хорошо, все отлично.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Great. Magomed, I have 3 questions for you. First of all, I would like to know, do you feel satisfied with reaching 2 wins over Ion Cutelaba, especially after first controversial fight?
Первый вопрос про бой с Кутелабой. Насколько ты доволен тем, что тебе удалось 2 раза выиграть, особенно, можешь как-то своими мыслями поделиться, да, особенно после того, как в первый раз, было много споров вокруг остановки.
Да, этого боя я сам тоже хотел. Многие люди думали, что это была случайность. Я бы тоже сказал бы так же, первый бой остановили, можно сказать, рано. Поэтому мне самому было интересно провести реванш. Мы готовились долгое время, ушло на это долгое время. В общем, мы выполнили сделали реванш, люди увидели результат, поэтому я доволен.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied that I can get like the second win because after first fight, a lot of people and a lot of MMA fans they tend to talk that it was an accident because of the early stoppage, and I kind of agree that it was a little bit premature, and I wanted to prove to everyone and to myself that it wasn't an accident. That I can win like properly and finish the opponent, and I actually did it. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this win.
Great. Next week we'll see a big fight in your division. I want to ask you who you got in this Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya fight.
Ну, в твоем дивизионе титульный бой на следующей неделе. Какие твои мысли и какой твой прогноз на бой Блахович против Адесаньи?
Прогноз я обычно не могу сказать, как. Я бы хотел, чтобы Ян Блахович выиграл, чтобы он остался чемпионом, чтобы дождался он там. Поэтому я пока на этот бой особо не смотрю. Я нацелен на свой бой. Мне пока интересно свой бой, поэтому я особо внимания не обращаю на этот бой.
I don't really like to make prediction, and also I'm like 100% focused on my fight. Of course, it's a big fight, and I hope that Jan Blachowicz will win and he will stay on top, and eventually we can meet with him. So I kind of hope that he will wait for me on top or someday.
When you think about MMA nowadays, do you consider it more as a sport or maybe just a show yet?
Ну вот если говорить о ММА в целом на сегодняшний день, как ты считаешь, это все-таки в первую очередь спорт или это уже превратилось в шоу скорее, как ты думаешь?
Ну, здесь вместе, можно сказать, здесь и шоу, и спорт. Ну, больше спорт, конечно, здесь выходят два бойца в октагон и должны показать, на что они способны, поэтому я скажу больше спорт.
Yeah, I think it's basically both. So it's like combined, it's sport and show, but I think it's more about sport because like it's two fighters in an octagon and they like competing in a very highest level. So it's mostly sport for me, but also with a little bit of show.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Have a great fight on Saturday. Thank you.
Yeah, спасибо, удачи в субботу.
Спасибо большое.
We'll take our next set of questions from Zach with UFC.com.
So obviously Nikita's like the highest ranked fighter you fought. Is there any kind of statement you'd like to make with your performance, kind of announcing yourself in the rankings of the light heavyweight division?
Ну, это такой хороший шанс. Ты сам сказал, что что тебе дали такую возможность, да, соперника выше. Есть ли у тебя цель, как-то заявить всему дивизиону о себе с помощью этого боя? Вот какое-то сообщение передать?
Пока я нацелен только на этот бой. UFC, я думаю, не оставит меня без внимания. Почему? Потому что я показываю хорошие зрелищные бои, не жалею себя. Поэтому, я думаю, в скором времени они увидят, кто не знает меня.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I'm thinking about like the top rank opponents, but for now it's all about that fight. And like everybody, including UFC, knows that I'm a very spectacular fighter. I don't trying to, fight safely. I always like to perform and, get a great fight. So hopefully in the in this year I can get like at the very top, because that's my plan.
Both you and Nikita have shown well-rounded skill sets, abilities to dominate the fight in many areas. Where do you think this fight will allow you to kind of shine the brightest in terms of showing off your skill set?
Вы оба достаточно сбалансированные бойцы с Никитой, да, но вот как ты считаешь, в какой именно сфере, да, ты превосходишь его, и в какой именно сфере боя ты сможешь показать себя лучше, чем он?
Ну, на этот вопрос ответы будут в октагоне, когда она закроется. Пока мы не можем ничего сказать. Он хороший в ударке и в борьбе, поэтому, когда клетка закроется, там уже вы увидите.
Yeah, I don't really want to answer this question now. So basically, when the cage will close, you will see where I'm better than him. But he's a good striker, he's a good grappler, but you'll see.
Then last one for me, especially after the kind of chaotic 2020, what do you kind of envision in terms of the schedule you want to have in 2021 as you try to climb up the light heavyweight division?
Ну вот, учитывая, что в 2020 году так все было достаточно хаотично, идеальный год вот в голове какой ты для себя выстраиваешь, там, может, сколько боев бы хотел провести, да? Какой план у тебя на 2021 год?
Ну, план у нас, я всегда говорю, вершина, поэтому мы будем исходить от этого боя. Как бой пройдет, после этого, я думаю, ну, в году хотя бы 3-4 раза можно драться. Если без травм, если будет, то это возможно.
Yeah, I always saying that my ultimate goal being on the top, and after this fight, hopefully it will go injury free, and I can fight 3 or 4 times per year easily. So if UFC will offer me a fight, I will take every opportunity that I have.
That's all we have for you today, Magomed. Thank you.
Все, спасибо тебе большое, Магомед. Больше вопросов нет.
Спасибо вам тоже.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Up next, we will be joined by number 9 ranked UFC bantamweight Jimmie Rivera. We're now joined by number 9 ranked UFC bantamweight Jimmie Rivera, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cateside Press.
Hey Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Jimmy, I know this fight got bounced through a few different dates for different reasons. Just what was it like dealing with all of those changes, late in camp as the fight got closer each time?
It was just extra workout room. I mean, extra time to cut a little more weight and get a little more skinnier. I mean, it couldn't hurt, it just helped.
I know your last fight was at featherweight. How did your body react this camp to having to cut down to 135 again?
I had to just tweak some things to cut down to 35. I mean, fighting at featherweight, cutting only 2 pounds compared to cutting a little bit more than 2 pounds is a big difference, but having the extra time helped.
How do you feel you and Pedro have changed as fighters since the first matchup?
I think it really just experience-wise, we fought tough opponents, and I think we just have a little more experience under our belt.
You obviously won the last matchup. Going into this one, are there emotions like you have to outdo your last fight with him? You have to have an even better showing? Or is it just a completely new fight and you're just going out there to do the best you can? No emotions from the first one?
I mean, that second fight was tough, especially that third round. I wasn't in the shape I usually am in, and we change some things in that training camp, and I remember it specifically. So this fight, it's like I'm excited for because I'm in way better shape cardio-wise than I was in that fight.
And my final question, how do you see yourself getting the job done on Saturday?
Obviously, hoping for a knockout or submission, but if I get my hand raised at the end of the decision, it's a win.
Hey, thank you, Jimmy. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Mark LaMonica with Newsday.
Hello, Jimmy. How are you?
Good. You?
Good. Two questions for you. I guess the first one, I'm curious to know when you're in the cage, you're fighting, and you're in stand up. What are you typically looking at your opponent in front of you? I mean, there's so much to guard against and to think about. Where do you find your eye? Like, where do you guys typically look?
I mean, you kind of look at everywhere. You want to mix it up. You know, I have the blessing to be able to do everything, wrestle, offense, defensively, jiu-jitsu, ground and pound, stuff like that. So when it comes down to the stand-up, it's just mixing it up, looking at telegraphs, looking at openings, making the guy do things I want him to do, setups, different setups to do. There's a whole bunch of things. I kind of go with the flow, see how the fight's progressing in that first round. And then, when I come back, the corner is more of the stuff they see on the outside that I don't see, then I just put towards the next round and the following round. Okay.
Thank you. One more. Looking ahead to next week, you're the only guy who's been in the cage with both Jan and Sterling. You went the distance with both of them. What do you see from that fight? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that fight, and looking at hearing the interviews and stuff like that, especially from Sterling, I think Sterling's going to try to out wrestle him. He'll just keep shooting. I think when it comes down to, I think Jan's wrestling's a little, people underrated a little bit. I think he has pretty decent wrestling, but Sterling makes a good point. It only takes that one time. He has got to get him down, and can he get back up from it? So I mean, that fight's gonna be an interesting fight. If Jan can keep him on the feet the whole time, I feel like Jan will win. But if Sterling can get him down, I think Sterling's going to win that fight.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
We'll take our next set of questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Jimmy, obviously this is a rematch, and I know Pedro, I know you have a lot of respect for him. What's the biggest memory or the biggest takeaway you have from that first fight?
That I was just way better in the stand-up, whether it was offensively or, even the third round, watched the fight. I was tired in the third round, which you didn't know because of some of the things that were changed up in my training camp. And I was just able to counter a lot of stuff. I think, what was the question again? Actually, I just forgot it. Sorry.
Just in terms of like your biggest memory of the first fight.
Oh, the biggest memory was just like kind of how it played out. Being in Brazil, I mean, when they don't like you at all and you're American, and going out there and just fighting. I mean, the crowd was really quiet that first round, and then you see, build up in the second and third. I guess I gotta say one of the biggest memories is we literally went toe to toe and just beat the crap out of each other.
If there's one thing that Pedro has done in his last few fights, we've seen him kind of adapt the philosophy of like the go big or go home kind of. He had a war with Frankie Edgar, knocked out Cody Garbrandt. He's definitely taking those chances, not playing it safe. Do you kind of look at that as maybe some opportunities for you to take advantage of that in this fight?
Love it. I mean, one of the reasons why I like the Pedro fight the first time around and then the second time is he's a guy that stands in the pocket. I don't have to go chase him like I had to do in the Dotson fight. And then even with the Sterling fight, even though I didn't perform as well, Sterling was able to keep good distance and really wouldn't stay in front. And the fights I enjoy the most and love to get in are the ones that are the guys that will stay in the pocket, won't run, or they'll come forward like him and Peter Yan. That's staying out the most when I fought in the past couple of years.
Jimmy, I realize looking at your record today, you're actually coming up on your 6th anniversary in the UFC this year, which seems kind of crazy when you think about how long you've been here. But the bantamweight division has evolved a lot in the time you've been in the UFC, and now it feels deeper than it's ever been. And I know a lot of people say, well, the lightweight division's the best or the welterweight division is the best, but where the bantamweight division is right now, in your opinion, considering you are a top 15 fighter, do you feel like the bantamweight division doesn't quite get the respect it deserves in terms of being the best or maybe even one of the deepest divisions in the sport?
Yeah, I think it's building. I mean, it's a stacked division, and anybody could be the champ in the top 10, top 15. I just think there's a lot of good guys, especially in that top 10. And you got two well-known fighters that dropped down, Aldo and Frankie, who bring even more to the division. I think that with those names as well helps build the division even more. I think it's getting more recognition, not as much as it should, but it's building more. I think it just takes time. I mean, you got a lot of big names in there. You got TJ Dillashaw coming back too. It's just, I think as you keep going, as these fights keep going on, it's just going to get more and more recognition. But it's a stacked division for sure.
Do you believe that it should be in that conversation when people say the deepest, toughest division in the sport is lightweight? You could argue bantamweight, like you said. You look at top 1 through 15. There's it's hard to separate number 1 from number 6 or number 1 from number 10. It's a pretty deep division.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, and anything can happen. I know one of the biggest things they look at are finishes in the UFC. Unfortunately, I don't have as many as I should, and that's just something I've been working on. But it's a stacked division. It comes down to it.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Welcome.
We'll take our next questions from Pablo Santamaria with Multi MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Jimmy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the first thing I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts about Pedro as an opponent?
My thoughts of Pedro's opponent both times around is he's a tough guy that likes to stand in the pocket and throw. And he's in it to win it, and he's tough. You could throw everything at him. He keeps coming forward.
Okay, the first match you have was a split decision, and it was very close. Do you expect the same fight, or do you plan to dominate him?
I mean, I think with the fight, he's gonna try to change some things up from the previous fight scene when we fought, and then what he's seen when I fought recently. It was Cody Stateman and the other fights. I think he's gonna try to change some things up and try to work some maybe other game plans. I think one of the things he's not expecting is for me to be in better shape than I was that first fight.
For sure, for sure. If you get the W, do you want to call someone out, or do you have an opponent in your mind?
Yeah, I do. I do have an opponent in my mind.
Would you say us or before the fight?
Yeah, of course. I think I would love to fight right now. I know TJ is coming back, so I would love to fight him, or Garbrandt as a second choice.
Okay, those matches will be awesome. And my last thing, would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Yeah, thanks for supporting me and following me. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the fight Saturday night.
Thank you very much for your time, Jimmy, and good luck in the fight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Ryan McCarthy with Low Kick MMA.
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going, man?
Good, you?
Good. Just a couple questions here. You had one fight in 2020. What does 2021 look like for you? Ideally, are you trying to get a few fights in?
Yeah, I'm trying to, man. I mean, when we scheduled this fight with Pedro, it was supposed to be November, December, and then it got pushed back. And it got pushed back a couple times for, different reasons. So I'm just looking forward to, getting back in and fighting more. It's tough. I think one of the biggest things is kind of tough when you're in the top 10 to try to climb that ladder and get closer for the belt. And you got to see who's available, who's not hurt. You know what I mean? Who's not dropping down or moving up kind of thing. So it just makes it tough.
For sure, man. And would you say the bantamweight division is the best in the sport? I know that question was asked kind of a little earlier, if it was underrated, but would you say it's the best?
Yeah, I think when you go from 135, 145, and 155, I feel like they're stacked divisions. You know what I mean? Really, really stacked. And then you look at 170, Usman's pretty much beat everybody in that top 10. So I look at it, I think 135 and 45, 55 are one of the most stacked divisions here, and bring a lot of excitement because you never know who's going to be champ or what's going to happen, especially at 35.
Yeah, for sure. And what's your ideal meal after a W on Saturday?
Oh, I don't know, man. I just want to get really fat. I've been dieting these extra couple weeks. I haven't been cheating at all, so I'm looking forward to eating some. I'm basically going to eat myself and probably get up to 170, 180, and then bring it back down after that. But I'm looking to eat and just get really, really fat and then realize how chunky I am and go back and lose weight.
Right here, man. Well, thanks for your time. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Jimmie. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
Up next, we'll be joined by UFC women's strawweight Ashley Yoder. We're now joined by UFC women's strawweight Ashley Yoder, and we'll take our first set of questions from Pedro Gonzalez with Cape Press.
Hello, Ashley. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So one of the things that has obviously come out is that you and Angela were supposed to do some training together before this. She did give you the props about the underwater training. I wanted to ask you, is that the same one that Alima McFarland is doing down there in the San Diego area, that deep end fitness work?
Yeah, absolutely. So they did a whole story on it when I fought in South Carolina through ESPN. Came and did some shots, really cool shots with us. But Lima and Liz got me started into it. And yeah, I was really consistent through one of my camps, you know, with coronavirus and the pools being shut down and things changing. It's been harder to be more consistent, but I try to get down there. Even when Alima was fighting her last fight, it's like a send off. We go down and we do some training just to like get good vibes when you leave. So yeah, it's definitely always fam. I just wish I could get down there a little bit more often.
I've seen the photos. It looks both epic and scary at the same time. Can you just talk about, you know, as a fighter, what kind of benefit does doing that kind of training bring in terms of your performance?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely more mental for me. You know, we definitely have those burner rounds, and the burner rounds, they try to push you to the limits. You're doing 50 dumbbell crawls with a partner on your back. You're doing bobs with someone trying to grapple you underwater. You're trying to do escapes from people trying to grapple you underwater after you just did sprints, you know. So it's definitely a challenge on the cardio side. But for me, it was always been a mental thing, staying calm in crazy situations. You know, the first thing
anyone wants to do when things get hectic is like freak out, you know, and it's the biggest and best way to keep yourself calm.
Talking about it because of the timing of when this fight got booked, just for the record, you guys seem cool. Do you believe that you guys will finally book that training session and work together after this fight?
Oh yeah, we definitely it's definitely probably something in the future for us. We're close in proximity to training areas, and you know, we both can grow off each other. There's not a lot of high level little people in Temecula, and so she actually has a lot more training partners. So it would be awesome to go down and train after, you know, we punch each other in the face this weekend.
My final question, this is set to be one of the more marquee fights on the card. What do you hope to show most for yourself in this matchup and the extra attention?
You know, for me, I love getting in there and competing. I love to see my growth. I love to see, you know, after 4 years, you know, what has changed, what has stayed the same. It's just a really good benchmarker for where I'm at in my career and what I need to work on and things I do well. And, you know, just overall seeing my experience in the octagon.
Thank you, Ashley. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Ashley, I'm curious, with this being a rematch, what is your biggest memory of the first fight with Angela Hill? You went 3 rounds, obviously didn't go your way that night, but what is your biggest takeaway from that fight?
Honestly, I remember my biggest memory from that fight is not really having not having a not proper warm up, but my coaches had to step up and corner my teammate the fight before me. So I was kind of in the back trying not to watch the TV while I'm waiting for my coaches to get back before I walk out to my fight. So it was a kind of beautiful chaos in a way, you know. It was a way to kind of learn how to get myself ready, stay focused, and be present for my fight. So, I mean, the fight was what it was. It was 4 years ago. It's still a really good fight, especially, you know, I really at the time still respected Angela, you know, from watching her on Tough all the way through Invicta, coming back. And, you know, I thought she was coming off a win against Jessica Andrade. So I have a lot of respect for her on that aspect, but, you know, I've grown a lot too. And one thing we know, I like to fight. So it's nothing but an honor to step in the cage.
You guys both accepted this fight on very, very short notice, obviously. And this is a chance, you know, at revenge, you know, a chance to get a loss off your record. Did that play a part in accepting it? Was it just about, hey, I want to fight right now, and you would have fought anybody? Like, because you hear different motivations, especially with a fight that came together this quickly.
Yeah, you know, no one, I don't think anybody wants a rematch on a week's notice with like, you know, like revenge purposes. I think for both of us, we like to compete and we just want to stay active. So if that means stepping up on a week notice against a competitor that, you know, I feel like we've both grown and I think it's a good matchup. I don't think it's a dumb decision on my part. So I feel like I'm ready for this fight and I'm excited to see what kind of fireworks it's going to bring.
If there's one thing you and Angela both have in common in your recent history, you've both been on the wrong end of a couple of split decisions. And you know, you can argue all day about, you know, who won, who lost, but obviously we do have a lot of issues with judging in this sport, and we've seen it time and time again. I'm not looking at you to necessarily point fingers here, Ashley, but when you have this kind of split decisions, does it change your approach to fighting at all, or do you just wish maybe the judges were a little bit better in this sport?
You know, of course, everybody's there's more people that rally for me in losses than I think I've had, you know. So the thing with me is I never really was a competitor in fighting prior to MMA. I wasn't, you know, so understanding how judging works, understanding, you know, point fighting is such a huge thing that I've really had to come to terms with. And, you know, just talking with my coaches, you know, it's really important that we understand like what things look good in the judge's eyes, what doesn't look good in the judge's eyes. And you know, I'm still learning. So you can't always, everybody has a view, but I definitely do believe that there needs to be work done with the judging. And that's across the board through every state, the commission, you know, with the rules and everything changing each state. There's so much work that could be done to help the fighters, you know, have more of a fair fight.
there's so much going on in a fight. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're looking, making sure that Angela Hill doesn't punch you in the face. But when you have the judges out there who do play such a crucial role, they're deciding if you get half your paycheck at the end of the day. Like, can you even think about that kind of stuff during a fight, or do you have to kind of put it out of your mind? Because unfortunately, we do have this weird thing where you hear all the time, well, a takedown steals around, which is kind of ridiculous, but you hear that all the time.
Well, yeah, but you see my fights and I take people down and I don't win fights. So that, it doesn't, that's not necessarily, I believe, true. But this is the thing. That's what we talk about afterwards, right? This is the things that we could have did better, even in a win. Like, you should have did this. You shouldn't have been in this position that long. There's a lot of things you don't think about it during the fight. Of course, you want to be present for yourself and for the person that you're fighting. But all the judging and things like that comes into play, in between rounds, what your coaches are telling you in the corner, what they believe you need to do to win the round, or did you win the round, what you got to do in the next round, so there's a lot of things that get addressed maybe in between rounds, but not during the rounds. I'm more present on what I need to be doing. After the fight, we talk about that as well.
Last one for me, without giving away any kind of game plan secrets or anything, when you look at yourself from 4 years ago when you fought Angela to now, what do you feel like is the biggest difference in your game and your approach to this fight?
Yeah, no, I just feel like I've grown a lot. I was 4 years ago, as I like to say, fighters age in dog years. So we've had a lot of time under our belts. I've had a lot of time to get better in jiu-jitsu. I've had a lot of time to get better, even striking and kicking and understanding where to throw kicks and how to block and how to feint and these kind of things that I didn't, I'm still learning on the job. So yeah, I think that, without giving any, we all know it's going to get real, a lot of movement. There's going to be blood. It's going to be definitely a lot of kicking, a lot of takedowns. We're going to be trying everything in the cage, and it's definitely going to be a fight for the fans. So I'm really pumped about it.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Ryan McCarthy with Rosa.
Hey, Ashley, how's it going?
Hi.
So what would the ideal 2021 look like for you, Ashley? Are you trying to get into the octagon a certain amount of times?
It's already starting off right, trying to get in there as many times as possible. So I think starting with February is a good start. So I'm just excited. Stay healthy, keep active, and just get more experience in the octagon, have some more highlight moments for the fans, and hopefully get fans back into the part of being a part of a fight. So having those big fights in the T-Mobile Arena or whatever arena, those are the things that I miss as well. So I'm excited to get those back hopefully this year.
For sure. Is there a certain arena you like fighting in at all? Anyone in particular?
T-Mobile was cool. I fought in New York. I don't even remember which one I fought in New York, but it was upstate. So yeah, no, any of them. The walking out to the arena and seeing your name across like a basketball arena or whatever arena with your name is kind of crazy when you never were really an athlete until you turned 20 years old. So it's such a surreal experience. And then the fans that don't even know you, just the energy of people just loving you. You always get a lot of love, I feel like, even in environments where you might have your competitors, fans there too. So
For sure. Well, hopefully we have the fans back sooner rather than later. And thanks for your time, and best of luck on Saturday, Ashley.
thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 4 ranked UFC heavyweight Jairzinho Rozenstruik. We're now joined by number 4 ranked UFC heavyweight Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and we'll take the first set of questions from Chris Decker with Veronica Fight.
Hey Jairzinho, het is nu je derde gevecht in de tijd van de pandemie. Went die tijd al?
Ja, zou ik zeggen. En we doen gewoon wat we moeten doen. We zijn eigenlijk gewoon aan het werk en ja, het moet gebeuren. Dus we doen ons best en zorgen dat we gewoon voorbereid zijn. Hey, oh, ja.
Ja, nu hoor ik je weer. Ja, ik ben weer terug. Pardon. Het is nu je derde gevecht in de tijd van de pandemie. Went die tijd al?
Ik zei ja, het is wat het is. Ik zou wel zeggen dat het went. En we zijn aan het werk en we moeten doen wat we moeten doen. Dus ja, het is niet makkelijk, maar we moeten roeien met de riemen die we hebben. En zorgen dat we gewoon voorbereid zijn voor wat komt.
In Gane tref jij, net zoals jij, een oud kickbokser. Verwacht je dan ook gewoon een kickboxpartij met MMA-handschoenen?
Ja, eigenlijk met deze jongen weet je niet wat hij wil gaan doen. Hij kan gewoon naar alle kanten gaan. Hij kan ook op de grond. Ik zie hij heeft een paar submissions. Hij heeft KO's op staande. Dus deze jongen ga ik gewoon moeten drukken en kijken wanneer hij een fout maakt. En waar hij naartoe wil gaan. Ik ben gewoon voorbereid. En ja, elke fout die er wordt gemaakt, wordt direct afgestraft.
Wat vind je van hem als kickbokser?
Ik heb nooit een kickboxwedstrijd van hem gezien. Ik vind hem wel een aparte zwaargewicht. Die de hele tijd beweegt. Draait goed weg. En ja, ik zou hem al moeten gaan opvangen. Ja.
Want zie je ook vergelijkingen met in jezelf met hem? Want hij is ook iemand die overstapt van het kickboksen. Nou ja, heel erg snel in korte tijd in de top 10 gewerkt heeft. Net zoals jij eigenlijk in de afgelopen 2 jaar hebt gedaan. Zie jij die vergelijkingen ook?
Nee, dat zie ik niet. Qua kickboksen, ik ben een ander type kickbokser. En hij ook. Ja, nee, ik zie geen vergelijking.
Je bent ook een hele grote underdog. Wat vind je daarvan?
Nou, dat hindert me niet. Is juist goed, gaan mijn vrienden allemaal geld verdienen.
Het is ook voor hem is het voor het eerst dat hij in een main event vecht, voor jou niet. Eigenlijk zou dit gevecht ook 2 weken eerder plaatsvinden, 2 weken later plaatsvinden en ook zou 3 ronden zijn. Heeft dat veel impact gehad?
Nee, helemaal geen impact gehad. Ik was al een beetje in shape, dus het was alleen maar gewoon doortrainen. En wat ik 2 weken later kan doen, kan ik ook 2 weken eerder. Dus ik heb er geen moeite mee.
Oké, laatste vraag van mij. Wat denk je wat een zege je brengt? En hoe denk je dat de zwaargewichtdivisie de komende tijd uitpakt met Munhoz tegen Ngannou die aanstaande is, Jones die erin schuift en na de zeges van Lewis en Volkov?
Op dit moment, een win van zaterdag, die gaat me gewoon terugzetten op de nummer 3. En ja, ik wil sowieso nog een keer vechten. En ik wil heel snel terugkeren. Met heel snel bedoel ik dan misschien mei, juni. En dan, ja, daarna wil ik gaan voor een title shot.
Oké, helder, dankjewel.
Alsjeblieft.
We'll take our next set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Caceres Press.
Hello, Jairzinho. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Awesome. Jairzinho, everyone's talking about how many more kickboxing fights you have. How do you feel your experience helps you in a big fight like this one?
Now, I mean, my kickbox experience helped me in all my fights. I have to rely on that, and yeah, I'm been working in my kickbox career almost 14 years, and of course, it's helped me because that's what I know it. I know it better than anything.
I heard in yesterday's media day that you had made the move to Florida. Can you explain the decision to be in the United States full time? Because I know you are a big deal back home in Suriname.
Yeah, I did because especially for my career, I want to focus this 3-4 years just only on my career and yeah, learning the MMA game. Of course, I'm a big deal at home, but in Florida it started happening also. And right now I'm having a headline, so all the attention is on me. And winning this fight this Saturday will make it bigger than anything.
Besides the people, family, and friends, of course, what do you miss most from home? Is there any particular food that you just can't find in United States? What is it?
Yeah, I miss my red beans with chicken and chicken feet and the Suriname way with sausages. Nobody made it here like home.
Well, I certainly hope you're able to find it eventually. My final question, just how do you feel you match up with Ciryl stylistically?
Nah, I think it's an interesting fight. The guy does what he does. He win his fight. You have to respect that. I see what he does, and that's why I'm taking him seriously. This Saturday is gonna be a different type of fight. We're gonna see where you wanna go. I'm ready. I'm in shape, so it doesn't matter. Let's make it happen.
Hey, thank you, Jairzinho. Good luck.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jim Barcelone with the Miami Herald.
Thank you. How did training go for this one? You're at American Top Team now. You said you're living in South Florida. Who helped you prepare for this one, and how did training? American Top Team is such a great place.
Nah, I have a good training camp at American Top Team. Feeling good. I have my coach Michael Bob with me. King Mo is working with me with my wrestling, and Steve Marco. I have Conan Silveira also with me, and I'm working with my strength and conditioning coach from Live Free CrossFit, John Kelly. So I'm in shape. My camp was great, and American Top Team is such a great place, as you mentioned. And they help me and they focus particularly on me, especially with my wicked spots.
If we can, in the short version, how did you get to American Top Team, and how has that changed you?
Nah, it was my manager. At first, I didn't want to go there because I know American Top Team have a lot of heavyweights, and so I was curious that I'm gonna meet them in the future. So I told him, no, I don't want to go there. And then he told me, like, you know what? You owe me one thing. Go there. If you don't like it, I own you one thing. I own you one. And I'm like, all right. Then I went, I checked it out, and I was lost in the place. I mean, so many bodies. The coach is focusing on you. I went there before the fight with Leicester. I had only 2 weeks, and they helped me with my preparation and go in that fight and still win that fight. So I think I'm in a great place right now.
Where does a victory in this next big fight, where does it get you to next?
I think a victory in this fight, I win this Saturday, will keep me right where I want to be in the top 5. And I want to make a quick turnaround, and I want to have a title fight after that.
And how has it been in South Florida? Are you getting used to it here?
Yeah, it's going its way. It's nice, chill. I didn't get a chance to see the city yet or go out and chill a little bit, but time will tell.
Oh, you mentioned red beans and some other things. You got to get down to Miami. There are places down there. I'll send some messages over to ATT so you can try some spots after the fight or something.
Okay, nice. You can send it to my Instagram too, so I get it faster.
Very good, very good. Oh, and lastly for me, what is it like back home? Because how big of a star are you back home, and how much does the country rally around you when you have a fight? And that's it for me. Thank you.
I mean, back home it's nice, it's crazy. Everybody is in the hype, especially now. All the kids, all the people sending the good wishes and the love, and everybody hope that I win this Saturday. So this Saturday I'm gonna be on fire. I'm gonna knock this guy out.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
We'll take our next set of questions from Marcelo Baroni with Global TV.
Hi, Jairzinho. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Thank you. I'm fine.
Okay. So Ciryl Gane and you are part of a new heavyweight generation in the UFC, which is much more competitive and with more fighters on winning streaks. In your opinion, why is the heavyweight division so exciting right now?
I mean, it's exciting because I'm in it. Nah, I mean, it's exciting. Everybody's fighting. The championship fighting is gonna go on next month. I'm fighting this Saturday. A couple of FAA just fought weeks ago, and now the future is bright. Everybody's fighting, so you know your place after this one. And yeah, the future is bright. Who wins that fight next month? And then yeah, I'll be ready. Get one more fight before that, and I want to fight a title shot after that.
And what's your opinion about your opponent? Do you believe that he also has potential to be a UFC champion?
Yeah, I think he have his potential, but not against me. This Saturday, I'm gonna change all the things about that because it's my time and I'm gonna shine this Saturday.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
We'll take our next set of questions from Santiago Jar with 85.
From Hi Biggie, greetings from Amsterdam. I will take a couple of questions in Dutch. Hey Biggie boy, je staat alweer klaar voor jouw tweede UFC main event. Je zit nu net 2 jaar in de UFC en je hebt echt al je visitekaartje afgegeven met een paar verwoestende knockouts. Voel je je gewaardeerd door de UFC, Biggie? En hoe blij zou het jou maken als de UFC richting jouw geboorteplaats Paramaribo zou komen in de toekomst? Om daar een mooi evenement te organiseren.
Nou, ten eerste groetjes terug en ja, het zou geweldig zijn als de UFC gewoon naar Suriname komt en gewoon een event neerzet. En ja, ik word gewaardeerd, zeg maar. Ik ben altijd een vechter geweest die altijd hard heeft gewerkt en gewoon mijn best heb gedaan. Maar nu ben ik op een plek dat gewoon mijn hard werk wordt gewoon beloond en het wordt gewoon gezien door iedereen. En dat voelt natuurlijk goed aan. En ja, naar de top gaan is pas het begin. Kampioen worden, dat is het doel en kampioen blijven.
Dan de laatste vraag voor mij, Biggie. Hoe belangrijk is trainer Michael Babb voor jou en waar hebben jullie je in deze fightcamp op gefocust?
Nou, Michael is los van trainer is hij ook gewoon een hele goede vriend en hij is ook een mentor. Hij is eigenlijk betrokken in mijn hele leven. Waar we op hebben gefocust, we focussen altijd gewoon op wat we kunnen doen en wat we goed kunnen doen. En in de afgelopen 6, 7 maanden hebben we gewoon veel geworsteld, veel jiu-jitsu gedaan. Dus we werken gewoon aan onze stijl, we leren nog steeds de MMA spelletje. Maar het gaat de goede kant op en we vertrouwen op aanstaande zaterdag.
Je ziet er in een goede shape uit. Bedankt voor de tijd, brada. En veel succes op zaterdag. Thank you so much.
Dankjewel man, tot de volgende keer.
We'll take our next set of questions from Pablo Santamaria with Multi MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Jairzinho, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you doing?
Everything is okay. Thanks for asking, man. The first thing I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on Ciryl Gane as an opponent?
Nah, I think the guy does his things, he wins his fight. And yeah, I see it, I respect it, but I'm a different type of fighter. When I go in the octagon, I just want to knock somebody out. Yeah, that's how I think about him.
Okay, do you think he will try to take you down because you have a lot of knockout power?
I mean, every fighter when the game plan with every fighter that fight against me or match against me, they start sharpening their ground game because they think that's my weakest spot. But guess what? Lesson will be learned. This Saturday is gonna be a different type of game, man. We're gonna see who tries.
Okay. A big fight between Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou is coming. Who do you got in that fight? Who do you think is going to win?
I mean, it's a huge fight. It's the gold on the line from my division. Who wins? I don't care. I mean, who sits on the throne? That's the person we after. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, and if you get the W, do you want to call someone out? Do you have an opponent in your mind?
No, I don't have nobody in mind. I mean, everybody that's ranked above me, that makes sense. Victory this Saturday will keep me right where I want to be in the top 5, and I want to make a quick turnaround and yeah, fight someone else. And after that, I want to go for the title.
And my last one is what are your thoughts about John Jones going for the title? It doesn't matter who wins, Ngannou or Miocic.
No, I mean, the guy deserved it. He was the light heavyweight champion. He defended his title, and he's one of the best. Coming to my division, he go before me. I'm fine with it. I'm gonna be fighting in the meanwhile, getting better. That when that fight come against John Jones, I wanna win that fight. That make me the best.
Okay, and would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
One more time.
Would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
Of course, everybody watch this fight. I'm gonna be victorious. I'm gonna be there, shine, and as always, shout out and love to you guys.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Biggie Boy, and good luck on the fight.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
We'll take our next set of questions from Augusto Herman with Somos MMA.
Hey, Jairzinho, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Jairzinho, you have said that you don't feel ready for a title fight right now. So I am curious, in your opinion, what is missing? Which aspects of your game do you think you need to improve?
It's not that I have to improve something on my game. It's more that I want to be more in the watch machine, fighting more often. And yeah, so when the title fight comes, you're ready. We can train all day, we can train all night, we can train all year. But if you don't fight, you don't see your development, you don't see how you develop. Because if I'm sparring with you every day, that means I know what you're gonna do next. But when I'm gonna be fighting, it's always different, and that makes me more. It gives me more belief in what I do, and winning fight. That's what I'm looking for. So that makes me feel ready for the title fight. So that's why after this fight, I want to make a quick turnaround, get one more fight, and then I want to go for the title.
Okay, and well, I imagine that that's why you have also said that you want a quick turnaround. So I want to know, who do you think would be the best matchup for you inside the top five of the division for a quick turnaround? And considering that the title picture right now is like frozen because Stipe will face Ngannou and then John Jones will step on the line. So who do you think would be the best matchup for you?
I mean, everybody that's ranked above me, it makes sense. And a victory this Saturday, we're gonna see who is available, and then yeah, I'll fight anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So you wouldn't consider to fight against someone outside the top five?
Maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Anyone that's ranked above me makes sense.
Okay, okay. I'm talking about the fight on Saturday. Which type of fight do you imagine on Saturday?
I don't know yet. This guy is a different guy. He like to move, jump a lot. I see he has some submissions. He has some knockouts. So I'm gonna be in there looking for the opportunity, squeeze him. Till he make that mistake, I can put him down. I'm the fighter who's able to knock somebody out. So any mistake will be punished with a knockout.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, Jairzinho, and good luck on Saturday, man.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take our last set of questions from Martina Saluch with InTheCage.pl.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, ma'am?
I'm great, thank you. So just three quick questions. First of all, I would like to know, in your opinion, does Derek Lewis deserves for title shot after his last win?
Of course. I mean, Derek Lewis has been there forever, and he's knocking people out since then. And after his last performance, that nice knockout, give the man a title shot. He deserves it.
Is it okay that John Jones will get this title shot before him?
Yeah, I mean, John Jones is one of the best. He figured his style at light heavyweight. For me, if he go before me, I'm fine with it. I think the man deserves it, so give it to him.
Okay. Can you share your prediction for next week main event between Blachowicz and Israel Adesanya?
For me, I don't have prediction, but I hope it's a really exciting fight. Both fighters are phenomenal. I mean, if Adesanya win, he does something for the sport, being double champ. That's something that not everybody can do, so it's gonna be amazing. Jan always work hard, and he's going there, and he's a hard hitter, hard kicker. So I hope it's exciting. I hope it's excitement to watch, and I'm gonna enjoy that fight.
Great. And the last thing from me, do you see other MMA talents in Suriname? I'm asking not only about heavyweight.
Of course, there's not only heavyweight, but there's a lot of talent in Suriname. I think I dare some managers or trainers to come to Suriname and see prospects and bring them to the States and let them train, and you're gonna see different type of style that we have there.
And some female MMA fighters also?
One more time?
And some female MMA fighters also?
Of course, there's a few MMA fighters, and that's a lot. But the thing is, if you don't get a chance, I'm lucky that I got a chance with Mike. He bring me to the Netherlands, and then from the Netherlands we fought all over the world. And Netherlands, all over Europe, even Russia. The only place that I didn't fought before the UFC was in America, and there is where the biggest chances are. So if somebody give those guys a chance, I think there will be much more fighters from Suriname in the UFC because they are such great talents and we are strong.
Okay, thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. Done?
That's all we have for you today, Jairzinho. Thank you.
Well done.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC women's flyweight Mayra Bueno. We're now joined by UFC women's flyweight Mayra Bueno, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Caceres Press.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
So first question, it's been a few months since we last saw you. Were you looking to fight again sooner, or is this a good time for you?
Faz tempo que a gente te viu lutar. Você queria ter lutado antes ou esse foi tempo planejado?
Yes. I will fight in January, but Montana changed this fight.
This is your second time fighting in Las Vegas, and it's also your second time at the Apex. Does it feel familiar to be back in the very same spot and do everything over there?
Essa é a sua segunda luta aqui em Las Vegas. Você já se sente em casa aqui?
Yeah, my three times in Vegas, contenders with here, né? And then I'm feeling home.
How do you feel you match up with Montana stylistically?
Sorry, repeat, please.
How do you feel your skills compare with Montana in the fight?
Você acha das suas qualidades comparada com ela? O que ela tem e você tem?
I like a lot style Montana because Montana have a good grappling. Yeah, I love grappling. Grappling is my raiz, como é que fala?
Your strength?
Is my yes. And then I think my grappling is better than Montana.
Hey, thank you, Mayra, and good luck.
Thank you. Sorry for my English, but I'm improving.
We'll take our next set of questions from Zach with UFC.com.
So I'm asking the questions, but still answer to the camera.
Okay. Se precisava só tirar a máscara que eu não tô conseguindo te entender nada, cara.
So you said, believe your grappling is better than Montana. You know, this is probably the biggest name you fought so far, other than probably Jillian. How excited are you to kind of have this caliber of opponent?
Então, Montana vai ser o maior nome que você vai lutar até agora no UFC. Como que você tá se sentindo? Você tá animada?
Yeah, I'm very happy for this fight. Montana has courage, and then I have courage too. And then I think this fight is a fight of the night in Saturday.
Is there any particular kind of statement you'd like to make to the division with your performance on Saturday?
Você quer passar algum recado para sua divisão com a performance que você vai ter sábado?
Yes. I think I not give the show que I know, and then Saturday I think will be the best performance.
What about the preparation for this fight has given you the confidence that you'll be so successful on fight night?
O que você fez na sua preparação que está te deixando confiante para o sucesso de sábado à noite?
Nothing different, and I have the best team in the world. I have the best spar in the world, and then we training every day for melhorar, improve my performance. My head coach told me, for me, focus on me and my performance, and then I think it's different in my camp.
And the last thing for me, just as you look to the rest of 2021, if everything goes right on fight night, what kind of schedule, what kind of year are you anticipating having?
Se você for bem no sábado, o que você espera do ano que vai vir?
Yeah, in Saturday I watch Bones the Night, and then again. Depois
O que você espera do ano, né?
Depois again.
Depois dessa
Again, I don't know. I think Saturday. Saturday is my focus.
That's all for me.
Good.
Faz mais vídeo, por favor. E me
That's all
ajuda
we have for you
falar.
today, Mayra. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you're all good.
Yeah.
Up next, we'll be joined by UFC featherweight Kevin Croom. now joined by UFC featherweight Kevin Croom, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Gateside Press.
Kevin, I'm disappointed. We didn't get the big nunchucks today.
Nah, man, you gotta keep it fresh.
I'm sorry if I'm late to this, but I had to ask, how did you come up with the nickname the hard-hitting hillbilly?
That's my old nickname. My new nickname's Crash, so you're real late.
I mean, why change it? I mean, that other one, I'm sorry, but that just stands out on a piece of paper, you know?
Man, that's a mouthful. It's hard to say. I bet you don't get anybody going to hardhittinghillbilly.com. Crash, it's nice and smooth, man. Just comes in like a car crash.
I know getting to the UFC is a big deal for a lot of people. Is it frustrating that you haven't gotten to have the experience of competing in front of that full arena of a UFC crowd?
I don't care about anybody else, man. I do this all to entertain me. This is all for me. So, like, yeah, the fans are cool, but I mean, nah, man, it still feels just as great, and the checks cash just the same, you know?
Just final question. How do you feel you match up with Alex Caceres stylistically?
Very well. I mean, that's why I asked for the fight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with ForTheWin.MMA.
Am I speaking with the artist formerly known as the hard-hitting hillbilly?
My man, you are correct.
How you doing, brother? Good to talk to you.
I'm doing well. How yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I was wondering, how are you doing with the lockdown going on in Vegas right now?
I mean, it's not really a big deal to me. It's not like I can do anything anyway. I'm cutting weight and I got to fight. So, you know, I mean, I'd just be chilling in the hotel anyway, probably.
Well, what's the vibe like with the team right now, coming up of 2 consecutive wins from Julian Marquez and most recently Derek Minner? Are you in the "this is my time to shine" mentality right now?
I mean, man, I'm all about the team for sure. I mean, you're right. Yeah, it is my time to shine, but the glory takeover continues. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Julian started off really nicely, and Minner did a great job, and here I am to just keep this whole thing rolling. We got people fighting every week for the next few months, so the glory train continues.
Absolutely. There's a lot of big fights going on for your team. When I talked to James Krause about your fight, he told me that you were in a different mind state right now. Now, as you said it yourself yesterday, now you know. Can you talk about this process of realizing that you feel emotionally and skill-wise ready for the challenges that you'll face in your UFC career?
I mean, yeah, like, you're right. I said it all. I've always believed. I've always believed I'd be here. I always believed I could do it. I always told myself, keep going. You're ready. And now I know. Like, I mean, everything that I've told myself for years when I couldn't pay the bills and all that stuff. Like, I was right. I was correct. And so now that I know, man, and that makes me fucking dangerous. So. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good feeling to have, I bet. So, well,
spectacular.
I talked to Caceres a few moments ago, and he expressed something that really caught my eye. He said that he didn't watch the sport, like he didn't consume it on a regular basis. He explained that he didn't particularly share some of the ways the sport is portrayed these days. In your own experience and words, can you share what do you think is a good portrayal of the sport and yourself as a martial artist?
I mean, that's like the cool thing about this is it can be anything, man. We're fist fighting in a closed cage, like it can be anything. You can play this game so many different styles. There's so many different personalities, so you can make it your own. And like, I mean, I'm just gonna be me till the day I die. So
Yeah, I wouldn't like it any other way, my man. I hope you have a great weight cut and everything goes according to plan. Best of luck on your fight for Saturday, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Zach with UFC.com.
So I'm going to be asking the questions, but you can still answer to the camera.
All right.
So before your first fight, I know it was a quick turnaround. You know, it was a short notice thing. So having the proper build up, proper camp for it, how has that felt different compared to your debut?
I mean, I'm in the gym every day, all of the time. So like it hasn't really changed anything. I mean, like I said, and I mean, I know I said this before, but like the biggest thing is now I know, and like that knowledge has changed my life. I know I've been right. And I mean, so that it's not like I'm a different fighter, but that just I'm validated, man. Like all my hard work, all my belief is validated now. I'm you know, I'm dangerous, you know, and I've always been dangerous, but now, you know, I fucking know.
Yeah, there's definitely a different level of, I guess, confirmation once you kind of know, right? So how has that changed you in terms of your approach or the way you feel in the octagon or how you feel about going about that?
Man, nothing besides that knowledge has changed, man. I'm still in the gym every day. I still listen to every word James Krause says. Honestly, nothing has changed. It's not broke, so don't fix it. We've been putting in work like crazy, and you know, I'm ready to go out there and show it.
Is it nice having to already gotten that octagon jitters out based on the way everything came together last time?
Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't really have any octagon jitters at all. Like, it was pretty freaking sweet, man. Like, you know, I just told myself a long time ago that when I made it here, that I was just gonna soak up every moment. You know, I see a lot of fighters on their walkout, they run to the cage. They're all focused about the win, which I mean, it's not like I'm not focused on the win, but man, I've waited so long to be here in this interview right now. You know, like I'm gonna enjoy every little piece of this. You know, this is my prime. This is my dream. This is what I've been living for, and I'm gonna wrap it all up, man.
Just a couple more for me. Now, obviously, like you said, you wanted the Caceres fight. You got it. He's an exciting fighter. He's had exciting fights in the UFC for a long time. What has impressed you the most from him recently?
Man, I'm a big fan of the guy. If he wasn't fighting me, I would be rooting him on. I think he's super cool. I can't wait to give him a hug after the fight. But I haven't been that impressed. He looks really good in his last few fights. 100%, man. He looks really sharp. But I don't think I think he's going against subpar competition. To be honest, you know. And it's really easy to look good against subpar competition. So I mean, I'm not overlooking this guy in the bit, man. Like I said, I've been a fan of his for a while, and I'm really excited. You know, I'm ready for war, 100%. But you know, I plan to show myself being superior.
The last thing for me, is there a particular kind of statement you'd like to make in this fight, especially against the guy who's been in the UFC for so long?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It took me years and years and years to get here, so I plan on taking people out with names and moving up the rankings really quickly. I'll be a household name by the end of the year, and everybody's going to know who I am. Plain and simple.
We'll take our next set of questions from Ryan McCarthy with Low Kick MMA.
Hey, Kevin, how are you, man?
I'm fantastic. How about you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You're in a tough featherweight division, man. So it's stacked from top to bottom. Can we get a prediction for you for Volkanovski Ortega next month?
I mean, I don't think anybody's beaten Volkanovski besides Holloway. I mean, you know, what do I know? Ortega has looked good in the year off that he had for sure, but yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, for sure. And what does an ideal 2021 look like for you, Kevin? Is there a particular amount of fights you want to get in?
Yeah, I want to leave the year being at least 4-0, 4-0 in the octagon. Yeah.
And how about after a W on Saturday? Are you getting anything, any particular food or drinks you're getting after?
Oh, man, I cannot wait to get some In-N-Out. I've been craving it so much. Double, animal style fries and a strawberry shake. Come on, baby.
Well, best of luck, man. We'll be rooting for you on Saturday.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
That's all we have for you today, Kevin. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 7 ranked UFC heavyweight Ciryl Gane. We're now joined by number 7 ranked UFC heavyweight Ciryl Gane, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cateside Press.
Hello, Ciryl. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you talk about what it's like to be in your first UFC main event? We know you're obviously not too many fights in your career, but I have to imagine it's cool to see the poster. It's cool to be the center of attention. Just what's it like for you?
Yes, that just crazy to have my face on the poster, and yes, really excited about that. I'm really proud, and I can't wait to do well this weekend.
I would imagine as a fighter, you always imagine what are they going to come up with for the poster, right? And they have you kind of like the classic style, like the boxing posters. What did you think of, the design, the style of your poster?
The style of this poster, it's really crazy, it's really beautiful, and every people think the same.
People talk about this fight, and there's a lot of attention on how much the kickboxing experience Jairzinho has compared to you. Obviously, that does help him, but it's not everything. Why is it, not a factor? Because you know that you're going out there to win the fight. Why is all that kickboxing experience? Why is this still an even fight?
Yes. You have a high level, you have a big experience in the striking. I have a good background too, and yes, but now it's MMA, so a little bit different than the 100 striking, and of course you can expect a big striking high level in this matchup, but I can do everything. So anywhere the fight gonna go, I'm gonna go.
My final question, you win this fight, if they say to you, Ciryl, can you come back next month just in case something happens with Stipe or Francis? What would your answer be?
C'est quoi exactement la question? Je suis pas sûr justement.
Tu dois revenir le mois prochain pour
remplacer
l'homme de Stipe ou Francis.
I'm your guy. I'm your guy, of course.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. You are stupid if you say no. That's really crazy to say no. No. All the years I'm in shape, I'm ready. So yes, of course, I'm gonna in.
So you're good weighing in as a backup just in case. All right. Ciryl, thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from MMA Fighting.
Oui, en plus, il est pas bête, le gars. Il y a un bobo qui sait combien à la place.
We'll take our next set of questions, actually, from Gleison Venga with ESPN Brazil.
Hi, Ciryl. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine, and you?
I have 2 questions, please. You and your opponent are the new heavyweight generation in UFC. You have great fights, winning streaks. In your opinion, why the heavyweight division is so exciting right now?
Oh yes, I think the people are really excited about this fight. I love their striking, and two young guys just arrived in the top on of his division. So yes, of course, you can expect a big fight, and the people too.
And what can you say about your opponent? You believe he has potential to be a UFC champion too?
He is a good striker. He is a good striker, but I think his strength is really his knockout power for sure.
Thank you, my friend.
Oh yes, 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 yes. It's a young man, and you know, and he proved it. He legit, sorry, and yes, he can go to the top.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Pablo Santamaria with Leeds MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Ciryl, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, the first thing I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts about Jairzinho as an opponent?
I think it's a young man, and he can do well in this division. He's young like me, and he can go to the top. And he is in the top really, really early, and I want to do the same. Okay, thank you. Imagine.
Pablo, are you still there? Okay, seems like we have some problems there. So let's jump to Santiago Jar with 85.
Bonjour, Bongaman, and greetings from Amsterdam. MMA is finally legal in France, but this pandemic is making it very difficult to do events in Europe. Do you think this fight with you and Jairzinho was supposed to be the main event for a big event in Paris?
Oh yes, this is a great idea. This is a really great idea. I really don't thinking about that, but yes, if it was open in France, I think it's a good idea. But next time.
Ciryl, do you think this fight will stay on the feet because you are both stand-up fighters, or do you expect some ground fighting as well?
I can do everything. I can do everything, and but yes, I think I can manage this guy on my feet.
Last question from me, Bonga man. You have some crazy submissions in the UFC. Did you learn that from the MMA factory?
Oh yes, because I was born in a MMA factory. That 3 years ago. I really don't know about the MMA. What is it? And yes, everything I can do in the grand game, in the wrestling game, or another thing on my feet when like I move, and I learned it in the MMA factory with my coach Fernando Lopez.
Cannot wait to see you perform. Thank you for the time and good luck on fight night, monsieur.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Augusto Herman with Somos MMA.
Hi, Ciryl. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Thank you. Ciryl, if someone would have told you 3 years ago when you were starting your MMA career that you would be in this spot right now in a UFC main event in Las Vegas, what would you have said back then?
Seriously, my coach say there are 3 years ago when he want to hire me, yes, in the MMA. He told me, yes, I think you can do something, and I think maybe 2 years you're gonna go to the UFC, and in 1 year we did it, and now is my third years, and we are in the main event. So yeah, we really don't know about that before.
And which is the craziest part of all this fight week?
Qu'est-ce qui est le plus fou pour toi sur cette fight?
To have my face on the poster. To have my face in the poster, that's really cool, and I'm really proud about that. And I'm gonna give that to my family and to my friends. That's really cool. But yes, to are in the main event, this is mean something for me and for my career for sure.
And about the poster, are you thinking about framing it and put it on the wall, maybe in the living room?
Yes, not in my home. Not in my home. Maybe at my gym or something like that. Comment tu dis esthétiquement? Enfin,
for the decoration.
For the decoration, no, the posters are really beautiful. These posters are really
Oh.
beautiful. Yes, I like this poster for real.
Okay, Ciryl, and you have already said it. You can do everything, and you have won by KO, by submission, and also by decision in UFC. But where do you feel more comfortable for this fight? Where would you prefer it to take place on Saturday night?
It's better when you finish your fight before the end. So if I can, I'm gonna do it. But me, I like to manage my fight. I like to touch and never touch it. Be touch it.
Okay.
You know? I like this kind of fighter, and I want to do that. And but we will see. Everywhere the fight gonna go, I'm gonna go.
And would you prefer the striking or maybe the grappling on the ground? What would you prefer?
I don't. Seriously, but I think I prefer the striking. When you manage your opponent with the striking, that's really beautiful, I think.
Oh, okay. And Ciryl, talking about the next championship fight between Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou, who do you think will win that?
If Francis learning from his first fight with Stipe, he should be winning this fight before the end.
And what would mean for the French MMA to have a Cameroonese French champion and to have also a very good contender in you for the MMA, the French MMA? What would it mean?
Ouais, qu'est-ce que c'est ça?
La France est à la fois franco-camerounais qui est champion.
Okay. Yes, we are really proud. We are really proud, and there are something. We're from the same gym, and that's more crazy. That's really crazy. We was born in the same gym, and that's really crazy. And I think my coach Fernando Lopez gonna be really proud if one day we are in the top.
Okay, I can imagine that. Okay, Ciryl, thank you very much and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll go back now to Pablo Santamaria with Niti MMA Ecuador.
Hi, Ciryl. I lost my connection before. So the first thing I asked you was, what are your thoughts at Jairzinho as an opponent?
Can you repeat?
What are your thoughts of Jairzinho as an opponent?
Qu'est-ce que je pense de lui? I think about it's a young guy like me, and it's a real prospect. And I think he can do very well in this division. He can go really to the top. And high level striking like me. So for Saturday, you can expect a big war.
Okay. Do you think your grappling will be an important key to get the victory on this fight?
Oh yes, here's a possibility. I can do everything. So yes, this is a possibility. I can finish my fight and I prove it. I can finish everywhere.
Yes. What was your reaction when you find out that you will be the main event of this
I was really happy. I was really happy, and my coach are more happy than me, I think. But yes, that's really crazy, and it's a new step. And every time I got the new step, new challenge, and we grew up like that from 3 years ago. And yes, really crazy, and I'm really happy.
For sure. And if you get the victory, who will you like to face next? Maybe the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, or John Jones?
I think if I win this Saturday, no matter who, I think if I win this Saturday, I'm gonna go after the belt. So no matter who they are in the line.
Okay. So the last thing is, would you like to send a message to your Ecuadorian fans?
For the fun? Who?
Ecuadorian fans.
Ecuadorian fan. Oh, thank you so much to have behind me, and I know in Ecuador and everywhere in the world. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ciryl, and good luck on the fight.
Thank you.
We'll take our last set of questions from Martina Saluch with InTheCage.pl.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Thank you. I'm good. Ciryl, I would like to know, what should Francis Ngannou change to win in a rematch with Stipe Miocic?
Like I say, if Francis learn his last fight with Stipe, I think he need, I think he need to be a little bit more boxing with fighting with the fight IQ. You know what I mean? I think he can do very well. He have big shape, he have a big power, and he can striking. He can defend the wrestling, and so yes, he can do very well. So he need to take his time to be focused and not in the rush. And I think he will not be win before the end.
Okay. How long journey is in front of you before you will get a title shot? How do you think?
First time I have my fight Saturday. I must win this fight, and after that, I don't know exactly. After that, maybe I'm gonna be in the top 5, maybe. And so yes, we are really close, but I can talk about that. I don't have everything to say something. So we will see after Saturday.
How do you like the situation with John Jones? He's coming from light heavyweight division, and Dana White says that he will get a title shot after Miocic and Ngannou fight.
Yes, that's crazy. That's crazy, and I think it's really possible because John Jones is very it's a bankable guy, so makes sense. But some people can do this before him, I think. But it's a shame. It's a little bit shame, but I can understand. He's a bankable guy, so.
Yeah. Last question from me. I would like to know what's the legal situation of MMA in France right now?
Yes, it's legal, but with the lockdown, we can do something. So maybe the next year, the UFC gonna come in Paris, and this is gonna be really crazy for me, for my career, but not only for the fight for the French fighter too, to shining in the UFC, first contract with the UFC. That's something.
Of course. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good luck on Saturday night. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's all we have for you today, Ciryl. Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes the UFC Fight Night Rozenstruik vs. Gane virtual media. We would like to thank everyone for joining today's event. UFC Fight Night Rozenstruik vs. Gane will take place Saturday, February 27th from UFC Apex in Las Vegas. The entire card will be available on ESPN Plus in English and Spanish, with the main card starting at 8 p.m. Eastern and the prelims at 5 p.m. Eastern. Recordings of today's interviews will be made available to media through email soon. Thank you, and you may disconnect.